Hey everyone, welcome to Collector Chatter. I'm your host Miguel here, my co-host Charlie, and as always, we have a jam-packed episode. This week's episode, we're going to talk about the 2022 San Diego Comic-Con. We're going to talk about the Funko drops. We're also going to talk about the Fun Days and some other stuff non-Funko related if we have a little bit of time. This is actually a very special episode as well because we do have a special guest joining us.
Yeah, and if you're listening on the podcast platforms, we really appreciate your support. But please head over to our YouTube channel where we have tons of exclusive content. And when you get there, please make sure you smash that like button, comment, and subscribe. All right, now let's chat.
All right, everyone. So, like I said in that intro, this is going to be a San Diego Comic-Con episode. We're going to talk about recapping, the actual con, and then we're going to talk about the Funko related stuff, which is the pops that came out, the Fun Day stuff. But most importantly, like I said, we do have a special guest. So we do have coming back again. Let's see. We can follow him at STX_collectibles, right? On Instagram and TikTok, because everyone's on TikTok nowadays.
Yeah.
And also on YouTube, South Texas Collectibles, fully straight out. We got my man, the beard, the legend himself, Trae. What is up, man?
How's it
How's
going?
it going? It's
It's
going good,
going.
guys. It's going good for now.
Nice, 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 nice. Yeah, we're super excited. So Charlie, me and Charlie have kind of talked about this. We wanted to do some kind of basically called it like kind of like a collector council type of thing where we wanted to get people to come in and kind of just like shoot the shit with us and like talk within not an interview process like we were doing kind of early on. We want to just get people
Yeah,
Be
on
part of the episode.
and yeah, be part of
yeah,
the episode. You're a huge a fan, a good friend already. We obviously like, always keep in contact with you, so right away we definitely want to get you involved, especially with the San Diego stuff.
yeah.
So let's just kick it right off. I mean, basically we could start off, Charlie, if you want to start off kind of what your thoughts and everything were with
Yeah.
the actual drop for SDCC. So like the Funko Pops that
Yeah.
came out and like what you thought about like what you grabbed or the process and everything. What do you think about
So
it?
I personally thought this was one of the better Comic-Con drops. Like there was a lot of stuff that I wanted. It hit a lot of my fandoms. It had some new things that I love that like first pop was available like right off the bat. It makes me think of like Ted Lasso. Like I've talked about in the past, like I love that show. It's one of my favorite shows. I can now say I know it's still a newer show, but I feel like it's in my all-time favorite shows. I just love everything about it. So when I saw that pop, like I had to get it. Of course, it's still sitting in the shop, was one of the ones that I could have didn't have to go crazy for. I actually thought this would have sold out if I'm being honest, but I guess it shows that it still is like a little show on Apple TV, even though it's got a lot of acclaim.
Yeah.
I thought the sodas were amazing. I loved the Bilbo Baggins one, also still sitting. Most of the sodas are actually still sitting on the shop, which
Yeah. A
I
lot of
find,
stuff is.
yeah, a lot of stuff still is, but I still thought it was awesome. I mean, I loved the Star Wars pops that came out, which I know I mentioned in a previous episode. The Marvel ones weren't, I mean, I'm a huge Marvel fan and they just weren't as like, oh, I need to get the Marvel ones this time around.
Mm-hmm.
Still awesome. But the one thing I will say is even though some things are still sitting on the shop, it was really nerve-wracking when everything went on live because no one could check anything out. I was getting error screens.
Yep.
To this day, I'm like, why can't I mean Funko? And we'll talk about this, I feel like, more later of just, they keep becoming bigger and bigger, especially with their presence at San Diego Comic-Con this year. But they got to get their stuff together. Like I feel like when they do drops, what they know they're going to get a lot of traffic. Like they can, in my opinion, like get the backup on the servers they need. Ultimately, it seems like once they got fixed, it wasn't like people missed out on stuff. It was just like the drop started a little bit later than it was quote unquote supposed to, and it got me as a fan kind of nervous. Like, oh, I'm not going to get anything. I had my wife going on her computer like, dude, you got to get on
Yeah.
this because like and then it's weird, mine wasn't loading. She then got in the line before me. It's funny because like ultimately I checked out the stuff that I wanted on her Funko account. They're probably like, oh wow, we got someone new to get comic con drops. But all in all, like I was a huge fan of this drop.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same kind of same thing, but Trey, what about you? Because I know you didn't go too heavy with this one, right?
No, I did not. As much as I wanted to, I really didn't. the only three I wanted were the Ninja Turtles and the Sonic. But whenever the drop happened, I just dropped off my daughter at school. So I was like, man, I'm not going to make it in time to my laptop at work. Let me just pull over, try on my phone. And man, it was definitely very difficult just to get to the checkout process. And then I initially bought the bundle from Toy Tokyo,
Yeah.
thinking, oh man, they're not gonna have the Donatello, I think, or Leonardo on the Funko shop. But then I saw it, I was like, oh man, it totally is on the Funko shop. I should have just waited and bought it then instead of I was like, oh. So
They
I bought
make
the
that
bundle basically.
they make that confusing. Like, but
Yeah.
now I
Yeah.
guess it's at this point we should just know Funko.com is probably going to have everything, especially now with their new, like we've talked about past episodes, exclusives. They're dropping stuff that are, exclusives to other retail stores.
Yeah.
But I felt that way in the beginning. And then when I saw them, I was like, oh, because those are actually two that I didn't even mention them before. They may have been my favorite of the entire con because I thought they were so original. The box is awesome. That it's got, both the Turtles and Power Rangers logo. And it leads me to believe we're going to get, that series is going to continue at the cons.
Right. Yes, I definitely agree. But yeah, I wish I would have known beforehand because I would have been like, oh, I wouldn't have had to buy that bundle, which was
Got
like
that He-Man
45.
bundle. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like 45, $50. And then I had to go back to the Funko shop and get the rest. I was like, oh, wish it would have just
Yeah.
been one and done.
What did you think?
I figured that out on one of the cons where I was like, I know that they put most because what happens is we get those shared posters and it's like this is from Target, this is from whatever, and you see the Funko web, which is only the ones that are on Funko. But I realized it. I mean, obviously now all three of us definitely know that like everything drops on Funko. So the retailers are just like another chance to get them, but only their versions or whatever it is. So I usually just go straight to Funko. Like in the past, I would have like Target open and have like Walmart open, but now I'm like, no, I just go straight to Funko and then grab whatever I can. But my process. So I was at work and I was like, all right, shop's coming out. I was like, let me just jump on. And I actually had or I wasn't at work. I think I was home actually. I had my laptop open because I usually do it on the phone, but I was like, I feel like laptop would be faster, it'd be easier. It's a bigger screen. You could just click like add, when they show up like in a row. And I'm on there. I already had something in my cart, and all of a sudden, like I'm trying to like load and we get that crash screen. So I'm like freaking out and I'm like, is it me? Is it the web? I didn't realize everybody else is having issues. So I tried on my phone and it's crashing the same thing. So I'm getting both errors. And it was crazy because I jumped in on the computer probably like 5 minutes before my phone. And my phone is the one that actually came up first and let me like add, because then the computer, when it popped up, I was clicking add to cart and it was a delay. Like it was not adding. So
and I
like,
had multiples in my cart, but you
and
weren't
I was
allowed
like
to check
doing
out that way.
Yeah, I was doing one at a time. And then I was like, I would do like 5 or 6 that I wanted. And like a minute later, it would say like 1 in the cart, 2 in the cart. And it was like slowly adding them. And I'm like, dude, I'm never going to get this. So then I tried it to the phone and it was like way quicker. And it was actually adding everything. So I was like, all right, cool. So, but yeah, I was kind of like with Charlie. I liked this drop overall. Like I liked everything that came out, but I didn't want to go too crazy and spend like crazy money on everything. So I did kind of like have some that I'm like, yeah, that would be cool, but I'm gonna pass on it. But I was surprised that a lot of it still is up. Like a lot of the sodas, for instance, I know they're usually pretty popular with cons. And yes, a bunch of different pops. The one that I missed and I was mad because I was just trying to check out so fast and that thing was annoying is the Sonic one. And I was like so annoyed that like after the fact, I was like, dude, I missed the Sonic one. I remember that being when me and Charlie talked about the drop in one of our episodes,
Yeah.
me being like, that's one of the ones I definitely want to get. And I just didn't. And I ended up getting like a decent amount of the sodas, pretty much almost all of them, not every soda, and then a few of different pops. But like overall, I thought it was pretty good. I mean, we haven't had like a big con like that for a while, it seems like. So it's like, it's good to see
Yeah.
like these coming out. But the process, man, like we talked about it before, like they got to figure something out because it's almost like they're going backwards because we've gone through this process where like there's issues with the queue and there's issues and like it obviously was just like maybe too many people were going on and their servers just crashed. So I'm assuming that's obviously kind of like what happened. but you would think that they would know that this is going to be a pretty big deal. It was the first con, like actual in person that they've been to in a long time. So like I was surprised that like it crashed that bad. But it seems like everyone, like Charlie said, it wasn't like it just crashed and it didn't save yourself. Like it just basically was like a delay.
Yeah.
Like it stopped you, and then all of a sudden you got back in and you were able to just do the process that you were doing. But then I forgot. It was funny because then I forget. I'm like, oh, I get everything. And then you hit check out, and then you get into the queue and it's like showing you
Yes.
what's available. And it's
Yeah.
like, then I'm like, oh my God, is this stuff going to sell out now because I'm sitting in the car? And then I still to this day hate that you can't save your information for payment when it's a convention versus like a normal
Yeah.
drop.
Yeah.
So you got to type everything in. And that was a headache. But luckily,
Yes.
like it wasn't bad enough that I got at least everything. Like I said, the Sonic was my fault. I totally just bypassed it, and just because I was trying to check out quickly. But yeah, I mean, at least overall, I got pretty good stuff that I thought. I knew you were gonna want that turtles. I didn't get any of the turtle
Yeah.
ones, but I figured I was like, that's probably something. I got like a few of the Star Wars ones, like Charlie was saying. I thought those were pretty cool. But it's gonna be interesting. What do you think's gonna happen with like the stickers and stuff? Do you think like we have a chance of getting real stickers, or was that only for the con?
I think only for the con. I think those days are
Yeah,
done.
yeah. So it's gonna be back to that.
Yeah.
Unless they
Everything's
restock,
shared.
right? Unless they just happen to have extras. I mean, I would think, but I don't know.
I guess it depends on how many they had at the actual convention, which I'm
I've
assuming they
ne-
had tons.
Yeah, but it's crazy, man. Like I said, I've only been to New York Comic Con, and like they basically clean that booth dry.
Wow.
Because at the end of the day, if people, there's people like us who would go and we'd wait in line and we'd get what we want, and then there's other people who legitimately just stand there and then they just buy out the entire booth and they're just going to resell them. So it's
Mhm.
like most of the pops are going to be gone there, even ones that are like sitting on the Funko shop, which is it's like sad.
Yeah.
Is there like a limit, like because obviously it's one per
There
online? Is it the
there is
same
a
thing
limit.
there, or you think?
There is a limit, and like I'm assuming it's still the same way from when I went. Like, you need to win the lottery to get a chance to wait in line. But then it gets to a point where it's like, okay, we've done all that allotment. And then it's at the end of the day. And what they've done in New York Comic Con, they then let anyone get in line. After they deem it a period where like anyone can now wait. But let's
Yeah.
just say there was this like hot, like I remember there was the Freddie Funko like New York Comic Con soda, for example. That
Mhm.
was probably gone. You weren't going to get a chance to get that one. You're it's mostly the ones that probably weren't as popular that are still available. And even then, like you decide like that's why I'm at the Comic Con for that day. Like you get in line knowing you can't even get in the line until like the end of the day. The lines are insane.
That's
It's just
crazy.
funny. As someone who's been obviously a Funko fan forever, and I've been to New York Comic Con so many times, like I make the point to be like, you know what? I'm okay with the shared stickers because I'm not paying to go to the con. For someone who has, I love comics, I love movies. Like there's tons of other stuff to do there, even though Funko is probably my number one fandom. That's all I do there the whole day, and then maybe get nothing, which
Yeah.
that's what some people do. But that's just like I could never do that. Expect like if I want to do it in New York Comic Con, like as people know, like that's where we live, so it's not a big deal. But if I was to go to San Diego Comic Con and do that and like get to maybe not do anything else, that would be heartbreaking.
Yeah. Yeah. Have you ever been to any cons? Sure.
Not to anything like that big, like New York or San Diego, but there was one in Dallas, which is like Fan Expo. And man, that one was pretty packed. I mean, I think the lines just to get in took like 45 minutes just to get in. And then I think they had a pretty good celebrities there. Definitely Michael J. Fox was one of them.
Awesome.
And that
Nice.
line was super long. I was like, dude, I just wanted to see him. That's from a far distance.
Yeah.
I'm like, all
Dude,
right, cool. I got to see him. And
it's
people
like
were like,
easy money for those celebrities. It's
yeah,
ridiculous.
yeah. I was like, man, it was pretty cool. The cosplay was pretty awesome as well. Um, but eventually, hopefully one day I'll get to go to New York or San Diego Comic Con for sure.
Yeah, we've talked about it before, and now obviously it seems like they're doing these events like at the cons. Like obviously the Fun Days one was at San Diego, and now New York's gonna have one. So like, yeah, I mean,
We're going to that.
me and Charlie are in Jersey, so like we're right there. So like once we figure out that details, like we definitely want to go. I've never been to an actual convention at all, so I know you've been to NYCC in the past. But it does seem like now Funko's getting back into those being like big deals and big events, and they're giving away so much stuff, it seems like, which is awesome for the people that got to go there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, San Diego's always been big anyways, but I think this year was a little different because like they did their normal release, and then we got all the extra stuff and everything else. But like speaking of that, I know we definitely wanted to get into this, but besides just the regular drops, obviously we get those all the time. We did get an event. So we had Fun Days, which is, if you guys don't know, is always like an event that they usually do, where you get the Freddy Funkos and all these crazy exclusive Freddy Funkos and whatever. But last year, where they weren't at an actual event, they did it online. And last year was a little different though, because last year you had to win a lottery ticket to get the box, basically.
Yep.
And then last year's was like a theme of like Olympics / sports kind of a thing. Came in a shoebox, super cool. Same kind of concept. You were able to get like a team, so it was 4 mascots, and whatever team you picked, they sent you 3 random Freddy Funko pops. And then last year's was a little bit more, probably because it wasn't an actual in place, like it was all online. So you got like a couple extra pops of 2-pack of Brian and Mike, or them. And then like the other Torchy pop, remember? And you got all the swag.
Yeah, like really, like last year's box as a box, in my opinion, was better. But the Freddy Funkos this year were like out of this world. It legitimately craps on every Freddy Funko from last year.
Yeah, way better. Overall, like way better for sure. Like you paid more for the box last year, but you technically got like 2 boxes, and it was like a bunch of stuff. So this one was a little cheaper, which I was happy they did that, because I was like, if this thing's gonna be $100 again and you're only getting 4 pops, that's gonna be kind of nuts. So I was happy that it was a little less. But like this year it was blacklight themed. Remember seeing this a while ago, and we kind of like questioned like, oh, how's it gonna be? What's gonna happen? But it was mostly for the mascots. Obviously, at the event, they had more of like a blacklight themed bunch of pops. But for us, didn't get to go. We ordered online. It was a general release, which was another crazy, chaotic process. But basically, you jumped on. You had to get one of the 4 teams, pick which one you got, hope that you cash out. I'm thinking it was the same for all of us, but I know for me, I jumped on. It was like 45 minutes to like an hour, and I like freaked out. And then about a minute later, it just dropped to 3 minutes, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm getting a box. Yeah. So it was like such a weird process for me. I remember getting it. That's the one that I was actually at work, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, please go through, because I definitely want one of these boxes. But we all actually were able to get one, correct? Right?
Yep.
Yeah. Trae, you just haven't gotten yours in hand yet, right?
Yeah, mine was supposed to be in yesterday, and now it's in tomorrow, hopefully.
Oh, you gotta make sure look out for the mailman when you get that.
I am. I'm like, man, I check my camera every minute. I'm like, okay, it's not the mailman. It's not the mailman. Because as soon as I get it, I'm probably gonna come home.
Damaged.
Yeah, because of the extra time.
Some people's boxes have been trashed.
Yeah. Initially, it seemed like they were coming pretty good, because they're like box in a box type of thing. So like it seems like it's pretty good. But a few people I've seen that haven't been, and I'm like, come on, like they can't just ship it the same. Like, and I had showed Charlie a picture of mine before I opened it. My box was enormous, and that's because I also had something in the cart, which was that Hopper and Joyce 2-pack that they had. Okay. So they put that in there plus the box, so it was in a bigger box. So I was like, this is even better. So like the box was like extra protected, then it came in a box, and then that mine box that tells you the bundle and all that stuff. Yeah, so all my pops came perfect good condition, so they were actually good. But yeah, what I think we all had different teams, right? So I was the Killer Crowns.
No, I was the Clown Protectors, which was
and I was Proto Robos,
which was the winner of Fun
Days. At the actual event. Too bad they don't send you anything, right? Because
I know, right? I was kind of hoping. I was like, man, I mean, doesn't that mean something? But I guess not.
No.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, so I've seen pictures, obviously, people at the actual event. Like, we'll talk about the Freddies that we were able to get, and then the Freddies that at the event were obviously a little bit different. But I like that. Like, I like that. Like, if you're at the event, you get something that's more exclusive. You get something that's only for the event. Like, I totally have no problem with that. But I do have a problem with that. Like, why do they get the swag and we don't? Like, they should have sent that to everybody. Like send the
Yeah.
bandana and the pin because they did the same thing. They did it last year when everyone
Yep.
got it. And this year is only the people at the event. And I was like, that's kind of like, I mean, like it's still part of the whole theme and the team thing. Like that's not that hard for you to make more
Yeah.
bandanas and these pins of your team and like send them out in our box. Like that's the only thing that I was kind of like, all right, okay, cool. You had to be there just to get a damn pin. Like you
It's
couldn't just send
funny.
it to
I
us.
get like annoyed and jealous of it, but like I get it actually. Like I as much as I do want this stuff, like it does make the in-person event more special because like I'm pretty sure being the pandemic is what started to even allow you to participate in this at home. Like they never allowed this before. So I liked that this year they kept that going, and I'm hoping it will be that way forever. So I'm looking at it as like I'm happy I have a chance to get these Freddy's from this event
That's
anyway.
true.
But I
That's
know
true.
what you
I mean,
mean. Like,
Yeah.
why not? Like I can
they're
get them.
definitely getting their money, so they know. I'm sure they'll continue to do this. As
Yeah,
like we said, we're obviously going to
exactly.
mention more Funko stuff later, where it's like Funko's getting enormous at this point, but that's obviously a big deal for them. They're going to still make money, so they see the opportunity where it's like, why not do this? And what's cool about it is that they don't have to mass produce this one few bundles of
Yeah.
pops. They're doing new exclusive ones for them, so they can kind of keep that separated, but still make everybody kind of happy. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, I do understand. Like, you should get. To me, I feel like what it
I get
is
what you're
by
saying.
being there is that you're getting the very exclusive pop that no one else is gonna get. Like that's kind of the way I looked at it. But yeah, just about these pops. Like, what did you think? What did you think about these things, Trae? Because I mean, I know me and Charlie have been going back and forth in the sense of like last year to this year, and it's like night and day, in my opinion, based off of like the characters that we got, like Freddy
Yeah.
wise.
I think this year is a lot better than definitely last year because I don't remember the last time we had Marvel Freddy's. Well, maybe before the pandemic, right? The Tiki ones, but
Yep.
they were at the actual fun days. They weren't in the boxes. They were like DC. So I don't remember ever receiving like Marvel Freddy's, to anybody that didn't go to the
Exactly.
fun days. So I think
Yeah,
that alone is just a lot better than definitely last year and the years prior. So I'm hopefully I really want a Spider-Man. I really, really just want a Spider-Man, but I don't know. I hope I don't get like jinxed and get nothing but Squid Games because that would be hilarious too at the same time.
I know. I honestly I thought it was a pretty cool like mix though. Like, yeah, they hit the big fandoms. Like they have Star
Yes.
Wars, they had enough Star
Definitely.
Wars, right? They had Star Wars. They even got Marvel, they got DC in there because they're the Batman. There was even a Disney one. So like they hit all that, and then they had like some of these big popular shows. They had Squid Game, which was kind of surprising, but like at the same time, like
Yeah.
they obviously milked that line in general. So like why not do it for this, and like throw
Yeah,
Freddy in
of
there.
course.
So yeah, so like that was kind of cool, but like overall, so I have two things. So I said this, so like I got my box, I opened up my box.
Yep.
Some of them are in the background if you see them,
I can see
but
that. I was like, that looks a little different. I can see that.
so some of mine, obviously when I opened up the box, I said this in my video, but I have like two takes on this. So like one, the characters and the pops that we got this time of Freddy, I thought were amazing because we got a Mandalorian, we got Carnage, we got a Batman, we got like sick like
It was
mold
amazing.
characters. Like that I
Yeah.
thought was so we didn't get stupid artist series like last year, which was like a waste of like a ridiculous amount of pops that they made for
Yeah.
that. And they were like more limited, and those things are like
They're
garbage now. They're
garbage.
like whatever. So like we got that. But
I know
they
what you're gonna
were a
say.
little lazy because if you think about it, we literally just got a pop that already exists and they just threw on a plain
I
Funko.
don't
Not all
care
of them.
though.
Not no no I get it. Not all of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do think that the ones that they didn't do that with, even if I'm not a fan of it, like I think one of the ones you got actually, Charlie, is a GI Joe Snake Eyes one, right?
Yep.
I
Yeah.
don't know GI Joe too much. I don't really know it, but that's a cool one because it is a completely different mold. You can't actually even tell it's really Freddy unless you see his crown, right? And like even the Squid Game ones, they have hoods on. Like so, those I thought were a little bit more unique. It doesn't mean they had to all be that way. So that's the only like thing I had to say. But the fact that we have a Mandalorian, the fact that we have, even if it's literally the Mandalorian with his head on it, it's still super sick
It's
because it's
awesome.
just
Yeah.
like it's just cool to see it. The box is obviously cool. It says Freddy ads, and
I
it's like
mean,
it's just better than like what we've been getting. So like
I'm gonna
in
say
that
this
aspect,
too.
it was
Like,
sick.
I have a video that's coming out as well, but I don't care. I got the Mandalorian one. When I opened that crap, I was like, hell yes. Like that
I could
pop
only
is
imagine your
sweet.
reaction.
Like it's just like I'm a sucker for. I love the Freddy Funkos, like, and the fact that that is now with one of my all-time favorite characters, and I love too that they went like this was hardcore nerd comic book. Like we're back at San Diego Comic-Con. Let's find the best characters. Like I know, like the Batman one is fire too, even though it's just his head on the new pop. Like it's, I don't know, it's still just like I know there's a lot of people going around being like these are lazy Freddies, but like I mean, I don't know what more we really want them to do for like the Mandalorian one. Like to me, I'm like totally cool with it. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, the Snake Eyes one is awesome, and then everyone can be surprised with the other one I got. But I loved it too. I was actually like, I got probably one of the best bundles I think I could have gotten for myself. That was of because it's funny, it's gone around online in some of the accounts. They've shown like what the bundles are,
Yeah,
and
what
then
your
after I opened the
possibilities.
box, I was like, oh my god, the box legitimately says the bundle I had.
Yep.
If I realized it before I opened it up, I would have known what I got. Um, and almost every bundle possible is amazing.
Yeah.
But I got the bundle that I think I would have wanted the most. Yes, I really wanted the Spider-Man one, just like you, Trae. But like at the end of the day, it's like they made them where like all the bundles were amazing, but none of them were like a holy grail of getting everyone you may have wanted. But I'm cool with that.
Yeah. The balance
Yeah.
was good. Like if you got like the metallic Thor, for instance, which is one of the lowest piece counts, probably gonna be the most valuable type of ones. Like if you got that, you probably got a Squid Game one. So like they kind of like,
Exactly.
balanced it out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was happy with mine because it was literally like fandoms and things that I like. Like I was hoping to get a Star Wars one, but I didn't get one, spoiler alert. But like obviously the Darth Maul one is
That one's
freaking
sick.
amazing. And then the
Dude. Yeah.
Mando one just in general, because yeah, like it's just this Mandalorian. Like, come on, it's like such a popular character, such a sick. All of the pops they've made of him specifically have always been amazing. So like to have a Freddy on there is like super cool. But I do like that they like change up like it's obviously has a crown, but the crown will
Yep.
always match color wise. Like
Yes.
they do that, which is
Yeah.
really cool. But yeah, I never was a big like Freddy Funko collector. Like I never really had too many or didn't go and buy the crazy grails. I'd never been to
Agree.
fun days, that kind of thing. So I never really had too many. So like now when I get them, it's like exciting because last year I was excited because like, oh, I won the fun day because remember last year I had to win it. So like I won the fun days and I freaking get 2 goddamn artist series. And I'm like,
No.
this is not why I wanted a freaking Freddy, like a Freddy Funko. Like
Yeah,
I
you see
did get
that's
the
what's
Wolfman,
annoying.
which was great because I wanted that one of the ones. But then I had these 2 crap ones.
It's so funny because last year I feel like it really was because it's funny. I was telling this to my wife, like it bothered me a little bit that those bundles were all out there, but I at least like that Funko. Like, I think they manufactured them more that way because you got the mascot in your box this time. It wasn't separate like last year. I feel like last year there was an assembly line of them just putting stuff in a box because the reason I'm getting this, you never should have gotten 2 artist series ones, in my
Yeah,
opinion.
there was some
Like,
boxes that
Yeah.
had 3.
yeah, like if I got that, I would have been like, I actually got pretty good ones from last year's. They actually had pretty good value and they're
You had
cool,
good
but
rare
like
ones,
I
like low
did.
piece counts.
I got low piece counts. Like this year I didn't, but I don't really care because they all are just amazing. It's not about the piece count for me. It's just like I have a Freddy Funko as Mandalorian because the Star Wars ones are like just way too ridiculously expensive for me to buy.
Yeah.
Because like you said, Migs, like I didn't really have many Freddy Funkos. I always wanted them, but I'm like, I'm not gonna drop like all this money on them. And like I know I've told the story a million times, and you can go listen to old podcasts about it. But when I met Mike and he legitimately gave me Fun Day swag, like that's when I was like, oh my god, I have Freddy Funkos, and like I need more Freddy Funkos.
Yeah, that's a sick way to get them. I mean, you get
It's,
Yeah.
that's the
it,
best way. You get a
it,
nice, oh,
it
here,
really
these
is
are
the best way.
exclusives. But yeah, I mean, Freddy's are always gonna be super cool. I like that they do. Like, I like that concept. It's the actual mascot, and they put his head on a different character. And there's now at this point, there's like so many.
So
So
many.
like, Freddy Funko itself is not necessarily exclusive, but each piece usually is. Not all of them are numbered because we do get the general, like the birthday Freddy and the skater Freddy, which are very just normal general releases of you saying, "Oh, I got a Freddy Funko." But for the most part, with these events and things like that, they're usually numbered at some point. And even though majority of this box was 4,000 piece ones,
Yeah.
that's still a good number. Like you think about it, like less
It
than like what
is.
sodas are numbered at, like
Yeah,
unless it's a very, very
it
rare one.
is.
So like realistically, like it's still very rare. It's still like value wise. I know now we're not huge on value over here, but in general, like it's still exciting to have something that is valuable. So like value wise, it's still gonna be something that's gonna be eventually, like just so you guys know, eventually the
Yes.
values of these will figure out if they're gonna be high or low. What they did in that first week has nothing to do with what these pops are worth because
No.
there was like ridiculous prices that these boxes and these things are being sold for, and they're already dropping. So like I'm like
People are,
Yeah.
yeah, it's ridiculous. I also think it
FOMO.
ultimately, the FOMO was real, but like I would never fall for that FOMO because you're gonna get them like if you got the box.
Exactly. And even if you
But
didn't, like wait and then you'll buy it
Yeah.
exactly. And the one thing that's cool about these, even like going back to the piece count, it's like, and I don't want to keep like gushing over my Mandalorian one, but like I also feel like it's all about like the property as well. Like that, that is such a popular character. You look at the New York Comic Con first appearance of Mandalorian, like those will probably be the Freddies that ultimately hold value over time. Where like I got the Snake Eyes one. I actually think that one is awesome. But at the end of the day, like I don't know like if anyone really cares about G.I. Joe at this point, where that
Yeah.
one will probably be one of the easier ones to obtain over time if you want it, if you're a huge G.I. Joe fan, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's gonna be interesting with some of the lines, like specifically like the Squid Game one. Like they came out with three.
Yeah.
Well, technically
Yeah.
there's
Four.
four because there's a new one that we'll talk about afterwards.
Yeah.
But the three that came in the boxes that we got, and Squid Game was out a year ago. So like the hype is already kind of down. It's like whatever. But there's a second season. So we all know that when the hype builds back up, these may be ones that are people like, oh my God, like Freddy
Yeah.
as a Squid Game person, like that's awesome. So like that's why like the longevity of some of these might be different than what they are now.
Yeah.
But I think, yeah, Star Wars ones I feel like will always be. And then like Trae was saying, there's not too many Marvel ones, and the ones that they do are very OG and they're very expensive. So like the fact that we got more of them, like I mean, Spider-Man alone is an enormous
Yeah.
Marvel character.
Yeah.
Carnage is a very popular Funko character. Let's be real. Like Carnage
Yeah.
pops
Yeah.
are ridiculous all the time, right? So like those two alone are gonna be probably just based off of the popularity, gonna be like big grails. And then with the Star Wars ones, I mean Mandalorian, like come on. Like if I'm being honest, I think the Darth Maul is gonna be ridiculous, especially the glow one, and then the Mando. The Han Solo, I don't know. I don't really
Garbage.
like it. I
I
think that
honestly will
was
say it's
terrible,
garbage.
bro.
Yeah, it was. They also picked a bad mold. Like
Yeah, I think that's what made it
that's not
worse.
the one I would have picked with his trench coat. It's not an iconic look of him. I completely agree. If
Is this
I
from the
It's hard
Solo
to tell
movie,
it's even
right?
him if you really like look at it quick, if you
Yeah,
don't
no,
really know Star
it's
Wars.
from like the Empire Strikes Back, that mold. It was from the anniversary
Oh, okay.
set. Like, I mean, it's not like a legit like no one that is not the one I would have picked. But we've talked about this before. They haven't made like too many good modernized like Han Solo pops that aren't from the sequel trilogy. They made one like a few years ago that actually was a con exclusive with him holding a blaster. That's the one I probably would have put the Freddy head on. But I completely agree with you. Like the more I looked at it, it's just so funny because like I've gotten my wife pretty into Funko with me. It's not like she collects, but like she gets into it when she sees how excited I get.
Yeah.
And even she was just like, yeah, that one's like, if that was a Star Wars one you got, she's like, I know you would have been happy, but like it, she looked at it and she's like, I can't tell that's Han Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you knew this is the Mandalorian and like you knew it
Oh
was
yeah.
Darth Maul.
Yeah, oh for sure. I mean the Darth Maul one, I mean, like, come on, that was so sick because like his face painted. He had like,
Yes.
it wasn't just the Freddy head. So that's one of the ones I'm like, wow, this is an amazing job. But yeah, those would be pretty sick. I know Trae, you had said so you're the Spider-Man one. Is that a
Yeah.
potential bundle
It
in your
is.
It
box? Yeah.
is that
Oof.
one and Danny Phantom. Danny
Oh yeah,
Phantom is
and that's a low piece count. I think
Dude,
that's one of
that's
like
the best bundle
exclusive
for
ones.
yours. I was looking at it, I'm like, oh, this is
yeah.
what Trey could get. And I'm like, that's a good one. I think that's
Yeah.
I couldn't get Danny Phantom per
Yeah,
what the
neither could
bundle
I.
was
I don't
giving
think in
me.
mine.
So it's
Yeah.
interesting that they did that
Yeah.
too.
I think Danny Phantom's like out of the four bundles, I think he's in three of them. Because I think Aang was in the other that
Yes.
replaced him.
He's in three of the Robo ones.
Yeah. I
Oh wow,
believe
so you got
so.
a good chance to.
Yeah. Hopefully. Yeah. I mean,
I'm trying
I
to
think
find his
that was
bundles.
the main one. And then
Yeah, actually,
Spider-Man
I think
was
I
in
had
two
taken
of
a
them.
He
picture of it.
is in like most of them. I pulled it up right now. Like that, you have such a
Yeah,
good
three
chance of
out of
getting that
four.
pop.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
three
even
out
if
of
you
four.
but what's crazy if you don't get that, the one bundle you're gonna get is gonna have a glow in the dark Tron. So,
I know.
Yeah,
which
glow in
is
the
like a
dark Tron.
crazy and a Mando. So like dude, you get a pretty good
Yeah, if you get
I
Danny
really
Phantom,
want.
chance.
Spider-Man, and Darth Maul, oh
Yes,
my God,
that is the
that is the
one. I'm like,
box to
man,
get.
Oh,
yeah,
that's the one you need.
yeah,
Don't look at the number in the box though. So when you open it, for you guys
Yes.
out there,
I'll
when
be
you open it at the
yes,
outside of the box, it says the bundle number. So like same thing with me. Like I didn't like I ended up getting bundle 4 actually. So I didn't look at it because I knew that it was gonna be on there. So like I purposely like opened it up, took the box out, and just tossed it to the
yeah,
side. But obviously they've released what the bundles are. But like, yeah, I mean, we've been kind of going back and forth, but let's just talk about like what actually was ones that dropped. So the two most rare, which were 1,000 pieces, was Thor Metallic, Tron Glow. Then we had a 2,000 piece Carnage Metallic, Darth Maul Glow. So those are kind of like the exclusive versions of other ones. So those exist in normal form, and then that. But like, what real quick, what do you guys think about that? Because I feel like that was kind of like the metallic. I don't know. I think it was stupid. They should just come out with one. I don't
I
really.
completely agree. It's
The
so
Glowtron, maybe that was kind of cool, but like a metallic Carnage and then a regular Carnage, they should just came out with one. I don't think that really.
I agree. But last year, dude, they had like three different versions of stuff. Cause I know I know
Oh yeah, that
Freddie,
was
like I have a Freddie
blocked and it was
Mercury one from
regular.
last year, which is I loved. But like when I scanned it into the app, it's been updated now. But at first, it was like it brought up three different versions. I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know there was three.
Yeah, the metallic
yeah,
Like,
one.
and I had the metallic one, but like it doesn't like call it out on the box, like a normal. I think this year they may have that on the box, so it says it's glow in the dark or metallic. Do you
Yeah.
know?
Well, it
They
has
did.
a sticker.
Yeah, so
Well,
the
the glow in
last
the
year's
dark definitely has a
didn't.
sticker. Yeah. So
Like
you
I
didn't
had
even
no
know.
idea, and then I'm like,
That's weird.
why do they make this many of like
Maybe the piece count was different or something. Yeah,
no,
that's weird
the
though.
piece count was different, which is the same as this year, but it's like,
Uh,
do we like? Why not just get another Freddy Funko? Like it's
yeah,
weird that
that's what
the
I was saying. Just
Danny
make a different
Phantom one
yeah,
character.
sits there in its own realm of being a lower piece count, and it's just
Yeah,
all on its own.
3,000 piece. The only one that's 3,000 piece too was Danny Phantom. So that's kind of
Yeah,
random, but that was kind of cool. And then we had the 4,000 pieces, which obviously was Batman, Carnage, Russell, Thor, Han Solo. We talked about Mandalorian, Snake Eyes. There was three different ones from the Squid Game. So it was a worker, a manager, and a soldier, which obviously they had different symbols.
yep.
Then there was a Tron, Spider-Man, Aang, Destro, Death Maul, Prince Adam, and then Freddy Fresh, which I thought was like probably the worst one of the bunch. Like it looks
I
cool, but
it
like
doesn't
that's one
fit.
of the ones. Yeah, that's one of the ones that would be like a Surfer Freddy, like a general
Yeah,
release.
yeah, like a
I
That's what
agree.
random
didn't
one.
make sense. And I was like praying that I didn't get that. And when I
Me
looked at
too.
my box and I realized that wasn't one of the options, I was like, thank God. Because I would have been like, no way do I want this.
I completely agree. Because for me,
But
I was like the Freddy. I'm trying to think. Freddy Fresh came with the Darth Maul glow, and I was like, okay, if
ooh,
I get that, I'll
okay.
be happy. But then I was just like, not that I don't. I loved Squid Games, but it was
Well, it
like
makes
Squid
sense. Why
Games and
would
then
they?
Freddy Fresh. Yeah,
That's why they put those together because it's like, low end and a super
exactly.
high end,
Yeah,
which is cool. I like that they kind of make it like that. It's not like you're just because last year I feel like you said, it was just random, right? Like
yeah,
I've seen people open 3 artist series. I had 2 artist series. And then you see somebody open, they get like the Jolly Bee exclusive. They get
yeah.
like
That's what I
the
got.
yeah, like freaking Charlie over here getting all the
And then I
damn
got one that was
metallic versions
yeah.
and stuff. And I'm
I
like,
got a
what the
metallic
hell?
version of, and like you may know this, Migs. I can't remember. It's like a really popular like Mexican TV show.
Oh yeah,
Um,
yeah.
guy,
Oh
the
yes,
Oh
I knew it. Is it the
yeah,
CH?
I got
Chavo,
that
I
too,
think,
and
or
I
something
got
like that.
the non-common one. I was like, this box is amazing, and I didn't even like. I was like, oh, I don't even.
He literally, and then I'm over here, I open my box. I'm like, wow,
I
the
know.
non-flocked Wolfman, which I was pissed. I was like, I wish it was a flocked one, and then 2 damn artist series. But yeah, no, overall, this thing was sick. I mean, all the combos are awesome. We're obviously, pretty, excited for what we got, and obviously, I'm excited to see what Trae gets. Hopefully,
Yeah,
once he
I'm
gets his
super
Yeah,
damn
excited.
box in, because I want to see, especially we have that option. But this wasn't the only stuff that dropped.
No,
So, like we said before, if you went to the event, it was a completely different thing for you. So, technically, I'm assuming these people could have bought boxes and went to the event, right? Which they
Yep.
could have double dipped, which is crazy, but that's awesome. So at the event, it was this whole big black night like party type of thing, and there was a bunch of different stuff going on there, obviously. But then, do you know? So I don't know the actual like logistics to this, but were they just like handing these
You get
things
no.
out? Did you get a bag?
This
Like,
is
what
what
was that?
happened. You get a swag bag. So
With
everyone
a
got
mascot, right? Did you still pick a team or whatever? I'm assuming.
Yeah.
yeah, but I don't like. I don't know, and I can look it up, but like how much a ticket to go to the actual event is. But like, I mean, you essentially are paying for all the sweet stuff you get, but I mean, it's worth it. But it's not like they're just like handing this stuff out for free. Like that's like your, you know, party favor type thing, which has always been what they've been big on. So you got this sweat. I actually have like, this is exactly what Mike gave me. So hence there are leftovers when I went to the like he gave me the bag. It came
like
in
a
the
Fundays
exact bag you
stuff,
got.
right?
Yep. So that's what they're giving to you, and it's just a bunch of swag. Like I think they handled Fundays and like they had their panel. I mean, they gave out free pops at the panel, which they always give out like stuff at like at cons, like a lot of the big ones. When you leave the panel, you get a poster, you get something that's like cool, but like not like something as awesome as like getting an exclusive Funko Pop because you got into the panel. They were G's at San Diego Comic-Con this year, in my opinion.
Yeah, they went in. They definitely went in. They were giving away tons of stuff. And like these pops that came out were obviously just more limited versions of Freddy's. Then we also got different blacklight pops that we didn't get like in the original drop from us. Then the mascots themselves all had blacklight glow versions of them, which I feel like that's now going to be the new thing, which is interesting because I opened up the Jack Skellington soda recently, and the blacklight one, and the chase is a blacklight glow. And I didn't know they did that. Where it's like
so like what is it
that
even really
blacklight's under a
like?
light, but it actually glows in the dark if you light it up.
Really?
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's what that's what they did with the mascots. So the bandits, the killer crowns, the pop protectors, and proto robos, if you were at the event, you got a 500 piece version, but they were glow in the dark black light.
Yeah.
So it obviously had like a whole nother like paint job to it or whatever, basically.
Yeah.
Dude, but those were 500 piece, bro. So like that, like look at what are 6,250 for the ones we got. So like
those are
like that's a big difference there. And then there was a ton. Like I actually have the list here. So
dude, the thing that I loved was, not to cut you off, but I know some people probably like, I don't want this, but the Mike and Brian sodas I think are amazing. Those are so cool.
And I'm
like,
surprised it took so long to do that, but it's amazing that they did it, and it's good that they like find. And those were pretty low.
Those are
2,000 piece.
Yeah.
So that's like super low. And there's no chase. It's just them. So that's like cool. There was also a blacklight Freddy soda. That was like ridiculously low piece count, I believe. What was it? I don't know if it's on this list, but yeah, no, it's Mariotti.
I think that was 500.
Yeah, that one I think was like super low as well. But then they had like other random stuff like Jabberwocky's Blacklight Pop. Then they had
Macho Man, Randy Savage.
Macho Man,
Dude,
Freddy as Macho Man.
Awesome.
The Freddy as Loki, like the OG Loki,
Loki, that was awesome.
The Optimus Prime. The actual, so I think the lowest piece count was 500, I believe. Yeah. It looks like, most of them were 500 and then some were like a little higher. But then, like what Charlie kind of hinted towards, then they had at Hall H where they always have like the big, announcements and everything for like Marvel and all these movies and stuff. Funko had their own like thing going on, which I don't think they've ever done that before, at least
I don't either.
magnitude.
No.
And they were basically announcing more stuff like that is out of nowhere that we haven't seen leaks of and everything.
Yeah.
And then they were giving out like Hall H exclusive pops.
Demogorgons.
Which was like crazy.
They gave out
which is like big obviously for them now.
Another
Freddy.
Another Freddy
Funko.
The Freddy one is so cool. Like I hope they do this.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah, I mean, if this is what they're gonna do with these big Comic Cons, like, dude, we gotta find a way to get to New York because this is like, I have a feeling they're going to, because they also announced in this whole little Hall H thing, they announced more like New York style stuff, which is the whole theme is going to be more of like a Fright Fest, which we remember like months ago they announced that the Blacklight one was going to be like the Fun Days San Diego version, and then New York was going to have more like a Fright Fest style. And now it looks like it's legitimately going to be the same kind of thing where it's going to
Yeah,
be a
I would have bet
big
money
event
that it
one
was just the
day.
theme of the booth. Like I'm so pumped that this is an event because this
Yeah.
has always just been in San Diego because like that's convenient for most of the company. Like that's
Yeah.
where they're in Seattle and like I said they have the office in San Diego and it's just that's why they go all out. But the fact that they're bringing an event to, I mean, it shows they make obviously mad bank on this, but
Oh,
like
of
why
course.
not keep the fun going?
But it's
Yeah.
gonna be another box too, so that'll be
Yep.
Oh yeah.
a whole nother group of maybe Freddy's, and I'm sure. I mean, they didn't really show it, but if they're gonna do mascots again, then obviously maybe we'll have the same. If not, maybe it's just strictly a box with like exclusives and
Yeah.
Freddy's and like more like horror Halloween themed, whatever, because it's usually the
Yeah.
fall anyways when NYCC is. But I'm like so pumped for that
Me
because just
too.
based off of how San Diego just went down and like I'm like, okay, this is what they're doing, and this is how ham they're going with like giving away stuff, and then just random crazy exclusives. Because we've been calling them out on like not
This
dropping
is
so many
exclusive.
exclusives and like oh, this is just a rerun, this is whatever. But like they're doing a ton of stuff. And when we first saw these boxes, I was like, oh, this is sick. And then they dropped what actually came on at the event, and I'm like, dude, they're coming out with like ridiculous stuff. And then today, like as we're filming this, there was more stuff that they started dropping out
Yeah.
there at the Hall H, and I'm like, the hell's going on? Like they're
Dude,
just
and they
throwing it
announced they're
out.
making a video game. I mean, this is
Yeah.
like they're like hitting like they have now. This is pinnacle like Funko. Like it's insane how big they've become. I mean, we love it,
Yeah.
but it's crazy.
It is getting a little nuts. I was gonna say when I saw that, I'm like, geez, they're like really, and I mean, like, whatever, it makes sense for them. They're
Yeah,
getting into all the avenues they can. They're trying to make money with this, with that. Like their lines are growing, they're getting more. Like they're not like these new lines they haven't gotten rid of, like gold is still pumping out
Michael
stuff. Like,
Jordan.
Yeah.
yeah. Like we're
Yeah.
finally getting like legit stuff that we've been talking about. They have that deal with Upper Deck, so like that's a whole nother thing that they're like pushing out stuff and like
And they like whoever did their panel, like they did it right. Like to show up on screen like a Michael Jordan goal, not just some random dumb player that no one cares about. Like they held that like I give them props. Like I think they did an amazing job. Even showing off like their new partnership with Mondo, which they bought. They show these really exclusive like Godzilla collectibles. Like I don't
Yes.
collect those type of
yeah.
collectibles, but they look amazing. They even announced that they're gonna now actually have a D23. Like they've made exclusives before, but now they're gonna have a presence there with like an actual booth.
Oh,
Like a
okay.
booth, yeah.
So it was just amazing.
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff. I was looking through like some of the things too. I forgot too that this is always well, I feel like it's always in San Diego, but when you always get like the prototypes and
Yep.
stuff, and they're just like giving those out to people. Like it's so cool when you
It's
see
so
them and
cool.
it's like the non-painted versions, basically what the
Yeah.
damn diecast chase look like, pretty
Exactly.
much.
But these are cool.
No, these are cool. They usually have a cool color to them, and like it's just cool to see like some of them. That like one of the big ones here was like C3PO, but he's still on the stand. It just doesn't have the name on it. So it's like it's so cool. And it's funny that I just seen that and it made me think of but before I meant to mention, like one of the cool things about like your Mandalorian Freddy is like it still has the Star Wars stand. It's still like it's
Yes.
literally that it just has a Freddy head on it. So it's like it's so cool that like
So
and I
cool.
like the boxes too. Honestly, the way they did the boxes, the sticker I think this year was sick, way better than I hated last year's
Me
sticker. I thought
too.
it was so
And
like
the
lit.
one thing too, which I loved, like we mentioned earlier, how we talked like, is everything gonna be blacklight? I mean, this was perfect. They made the mascots blacklight, and then like we said, there was a few blacklight pops that were special for the event, but I loved how they didn't make everything blacklight. Like we were
Yeah.
worried, and like they hit a home run.
Yeah, I was aware. I was like, oh, there was gonna be a bunch of Freddy Blacklights of something else. Or like I
Yes,
figured it'd be like an artist series and it was Blacklight, and like
exactly.
maybe it would have looked cool, but I thought they would have
Yeah.
overdone it. And they really didn't. Like they only came out with that one Freddy Blacklight was super exclusive, and then the soda. And I was
Yep.
like, perfect. That made total sense. And then the extra ones that they come out with more to kind of like go with the theme. And of course, their freaking number one damn cash grab, Fluffy, got his own damn.
Yeah.
They
I
freaking
think that's
love
coming
that
out
guy.
Monday, right? I think they
Another
said
one's
there's
coming out on Monday, but then they
Oh, a
had
yeah.
one at
different
the
one. But at the
event.
event they had one, right? Yeah, and
Well,
it's
Yes.
no,
like,
I think that one's the one that they had at the event was coming out, or is coming out Monday.
Oh, so you
I
can buy
think,
it.
Oh,
I
okay.
Oh, of
believe,
course,
or
they're gonna
another
want more
version.
people to buy it. Yeah. Surprised it's not
Yeah,
coming in like a special box again or something like
Dude,
with
crazy.
an
it obvious
autograph or
he
something.
obviously sells. I mean, I guess I
Oh, yeah, that contract or whatever they got that deal with him is like insane, but like clearly, yeah. But for the most part, they're usually pretty like limited. They're limited numbered or like exclusive. They're not
yep.
just like really normal general releases like a lot of their other comedians, musicians, and things like
Yeah,
that. So it is a little different. But yeah, with him, they just if it's a convention, especially if it's like in California, you're gonna see a damn pop of Fluffy, like another version of him, and then they'll come out with a plain one and an autograph one, just so they can sell two
yeah,
different things. Because they
yeah.
keep doing
It's
that.
I'm
ridiculous.
surprised
But yeah,
they haven't made a chase other than like the Galactus. They haven't made any other chase blacklights, right?
for the
No,
pops,
Yeah,
no.
no, right? That's
no,
just
no,
that other one.
just the
I wouldn't be
sodas essentially is what
surprised if
they.
they make one.
The
Yeah,
Galactus one is actually random that they did that, honestly.
Yeah,
I like that's a sweet pop. I mean, I think we all Trae, you have
I have the
both.
common.
We
I
right?
have both.
Yeah, and we
Hmm.
just have the common. It's just random that they made a chase of that. Now that you bring that up, like totally
Yeah, I think
random.
it really is the only one.
It is.
Yeah,
Like even and of course that's like a 10-inch pop, but even in the normal, like we've gotten exclusives, like there's two different Jimi Hendrix, like I have here, like two different
Yeah.
versions,
yeah,
but they're not Chase. It was like one's an exclusive, one was a con. But I'm kind of like on the whole like chase of a black light because it's literally just a color variation swap. So like I don't
I
love
agree.
that they do that anyway. So I'm kind of glad that they haven't with the sodas already. Like obviously they do it with the sodas, but I'm kind of like it's cool. Like I opened up my jack and I actually pulled a common and a chase, and it was cool to see both colors. But now the chase was a glow black light. So I
yeah,
was like, this is kind of cool. Like it
Yeah.
is different. So maybe they do that more, it'd be a little bit better. But yeah, with Popeyes, they haven't really, and they've come out with plenty of blacklight pops. So
yeah.
it's
I'm
interesting that
surprised.
the Galactic was the only one. I wonder why, because it was such a random one that they did it with.
Totally
Yeah,
random. There's
Yeah,
no
they
like
didn't. Yeah,
reason
they
to have
didn't do
done
that with
that.
anybody else. I never really thought about that. So you just said it. I'm like, didn't they? Oh yeah, it's the only one that
I
had
wouldn't be
damn.
surprised. Eventually, they're trying to milk the whole Fluffy. I wouldn't be surprised if they come out with a chase eventually, right?
Yeah, well, because
Yeah.
the one like you're saying the one that dropped where he's like Day of the Dead like a skeleton, that's the
Yeah,
one that's dropping for like
I think
general release.
I believe so, or it's in maybe a different variant, but I want to
And
say that's the one that.
I think this is what's annoying with him too, is that like it's the same mold, pop, box, and everything. It's number two in the
Mhm.
comedians. It's always the same one. They just change his outfit or they just like
Yeah,
change something on it. It's not even like a different pop at that point. Like it's like, come on, they're just like that's lazy. I mean, at least the box is colored like a blacklight pop, but it's literally the same print as a normal
I
for the
agree.
other five, six, seven
yeah,
ones that they've come out with. But I'm like,
It
come
makes
on,
no
bro.
sense.
Yeah, but I mean, overall, this is pretty cool. I'm looking at the damn pins over here. I'm still mad about not getting a pin.
I mean, I am mad too, but like at least I
Well,
got it.
because like
they could
it
have
was
thrown
funny.
in a pin, I
Yeah, yeah,
guess. That
damn
makes
pin
sense.
going right. Well, I was thinking about it because I was on my way to work I think the other day, and I have my backpack which I usually take like my lunch in or whatever, and all my backpack is just full of like pop keychains like hanging from the zippers, and then like pins, and it's mostly like Funko related pins or things like that. And I have last year's Proto Punks, I think is what it was called, the one I was. And like I had the pin and I seen it. I'm like, damn, I wonder if they're gonna send. And this is before I opened the box. I'm
Dude,
like, I
I
wonder if they're gonna
forgot
send a
we got
pin
a
for the
pin
new
with
one.
last year.
Yeah, I was
Did
like, I
we
wonder
get
if
a
they're gonna send a pin for
bandana
the new
too?
one. Yeah, we got a bandana. We got it. Well,
It was pretty stacked,
those
right?
stupid
Like
like
it's
Oh
those
yeah.
noisemakers or whatever. We
yeah,
got the pin, and then we got the that thing, and
It's
then we got
funny.
the
the podium.
podium, but that was because it was like Olympic base. But like if you look here, there's two. So there was actually a lounge fly, like a little lounge fly thing,
Oh, that's
and then
pretty
the
Yeah,
cool.
pin, the
It's
actual
funny
mascot
though.
pin, and then the bandana,
It's now making me think the reason we got
which
all
is
that last
blacklight.
year is because at that point they probably thought it was going to be in person and it got canceled
Yeah, it could have.
and they already had it all
yeah,
Because you
made
got to think they
and
have
they
it
gave it
all
to you.
kind of ahead of
Yep.
time. So I'm sure that because like you said, it's never been where you could buy this stuff online anyways. It was only for the
Yep.
convention. Like
yep.
I don't see them changing that. I could totally see them still doing everything they've been doing now where it's like both versions. You
This
just
year was
kind of
perfect.
have more exclusives. But yeah, totally like I'm down with them doing it this way. Like, I mean, it sucks when you can't get to the convention because you miss out on some of that stuff, but
Yeah.
it's cool to have that. If you were able to go and pay for a ticket, like,
Weirdly enough, besides like some of the sodas and like the lower piece counts, like the Freddies you could get at home, in my opinion, are better overall than what you could have gone there, besides the exclusivity of them and like
the actual molds. I think the
yeah.
only one that I'm like this was fire is the Macho Man.
Well, yes, that one was
The
Yeah.
awesome.
Macho one is so sick, and that's like a chain, like the mold. He's got glasses on, like so. That one to me, I'm like hell yeah, because even
That's
the
like
Optimus
yeah.
Prime, like it's cool,
No,
but
not they're awesome, but it's
I'm
just
like
like
yeah, like that one's not. I don't think was as good as some of the other
Yeah.
ones.
like I'd
The
rather have gone
Loki
in
one was
Spider-Man,
cool.
but then a Loki though. The Loki one's awesome, but to me, like the Spider-Man one's better than the Loki. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know.
I
Because there
guess
was a
because it's also
500
like the
piece.
OG Loki
Yeah, there was a 500 piece and then a 1500 piece, right? One was just metallic out of
of
the two.
Loki.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a metallic
Okay.
version and there's a regular version. They did the same thing with the Optimus Prime as well. There was a metallic version, there was a regular version. And
Yeah,
then
the
they did
glow in
come
the
out with another
dark.
Squid Game one though, but it was like the player,
Yeah,
like the
which is
main
cool.
guy, player
Yeah.
456, which that was pretty cool that they came out with that
That Macho
because
Man.
The
but
Macho Man
yeah, I
one
think
is
the Macho
awesome.
Man's probably like the best one of
Because I
like
have
that
the
bunch,
Walmart exclusive where he
which is
has that
essentially like
outfit.
that, right?
Yeah. And that one's awesome. It took me a while to find it. I was like, man, I went to like all the Walmarts around here. And I even drove like 30 minutes away to go to another Walmart. I finally found him. And I was like, oh, dude. But yeah,
The
that
thing
one's
that's even more, not to change topic, but awesome about the Brian and I'm looking at the picture now, and Mike Sodas is like they're holding like they're like, Mike was big
favorite.
boy and freaking
Oh
Brian is
yeah,
holding a Huckleberry Hound, which is his favorite.
they're
There
two
is a
favorites,
lot of
right?
detail that went into these two sodas. Like
Yes.
they are
Even the art,
ultimate.
even the can art is cool.
They're awesome.
Like it's like
Like
it's a cool cartoon version of them. I
I
mean,
don't know. I'm curious. Like
they
I know
made
some of you
Brian look a little
listeners,
young. They made Brian look
yeah,
a little
Brian, like
young.
yeah,
Not gonna
with
lie, but
they did. Even though it's just funny because that's like his current haircuts, which is
yeah, oh
funny.
yeah, they definitely look. They definitely made them look like them. He actually, you know what's funny is I'm seeing this now, and if you didn't know who Brian Moriarty was, he looks like Chris
Chris
Pine in this
Pine.
picture.
I thought the same
Yeah.
exact thing.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
That is
what
the
the
first
hell?
thing I thought of. That is so funny that you said that. I just
But
think
yeah,
those are
that it
so
was cool
cool.
that they did that. Which I mean, I guess like last year they did pops of them.
Yep.
And then this year they did soda. So like it kind of makes sense. These were obviously cooler, more exclusive because that pop is like worth trash. You can't even give that thing away now to people because no one ever wants it.
Yeah.
But I remember for a little while they had the signed version and everyone thought they were getting a $700
Yes.
two
They
pack and they were
finally fixed the
selling it.
Funko
Yeah.
app
Yeah,
with that.
that thing was for a
Yeah.
long time. I deleted it off of my Funko app because it would come up towards the top, and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is not worth that. I don't want it to show up there. And it was like annoying me, and then I like deleted it. But I'm glad they fixed it.
It's just funny though. Do you think like, and this is going back, like, there's a lot. I mean, I guess if you went to Fundays event, you're like a Funko sweaty, but it's like, will people not want these, do you think? Or no, these are like totally like people are loving that they have these
Those
as the
sodas,
collection. Yeah.
I've seen mixed reviews in the community. I've
Because
seen
part of me
people
is like,
kind of
can I
say like
just
Yeah.
they're not cool, they're corny, like
yeah,
whatever,
I'm
and
like,
they're
can
like
I just
passing
get
on.
these from someone who like doesn't want them?
I'm sure there's people that don't. I mean, but the thing is, they're gonna sell it. It's gonna have a crazy value for a little while. It'll probably
Yeah.
drop. Like, granted, they're 2,000 pieces, so they are limited. But the 2 pack, I have it somewhere over here. The 2 pack I think was limited too, right? Because you
Yeah, it
only got it in the
was. I think
box, so it
so.
was
Yep.
limited to a certain amount, whatever. And that thing's like worth like nothing.
I
But
know.
I just
That's what
feel like
makes me
it being
think
a
though.
soda is kind of cool, but I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it may not. It may not be as popular as we
Like, I
think it
wish
like
they
should
made,
be.
like, I've said this in a collector chat episode before, like, because I wish they made more like leaders of companies in general. Like, I would love a Steve Jobs soda.
Yeah, we've said that before.
Like
Yeah.
I would
Or
love a
even a
Walt
Yeah.
pop.
Disney one. Yeah, like it just, these are so, like, it makes me want them to make more stuff like this, but if people don't want them, probably won't get it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is true. They totally should, but I guess it's very like certain, like the number's gonna be limited on like who,
Yep.
but releasing it as a small limited number
It's
kind of helps
cool.
that, it makes it not like you're not just pumping out a general release of random guy that no one's gonna want, like at least you make it limited, do it in a con, like make it kind of like that.
Yeah.
Like like Steve Jobs should be at like a San Diego Comic-Con in California, you know,
Yeah,
like it should be something like that, you know, like you see it more exclusive to the area or whatever, but I guess we'll see. But yeah, Fun Days was definitely a hit for
yeah,
this year.
Yeah.
I mean everything was cool. Even the box was pretty sick. Like the
it
box like art
was.
and
They put a
everything was
lot of
cool.
love and
So it's
care in it.
definitely, yeah, definitely worth it if you guys got it. Luckily, you know, let us know. We always like, you know, if you comment down below what you guys got and what were some of your favorites. But you know, San Diego Comic Con obviously also does non-Funko stuff, right? So like, you know, that's a big deal. And I know we pretty much are big fans of, you know, Marvel in general and like always get excited when there's like releases and talking about that. So I kind of did want to just get into like your thoughts of like the whole release of the new phases. Like they even went up to
It went up to
freaking phase
six.
six
Kevin
just to
Feige made
say
it
Yeah.
that there's
big,
Avengers
dude.
movies coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
which is crazy because they have the dates already all set, which obviously sometimes move. But you saw that whole timeline of dates, and then they only tell you about the last two, which is the big like Avengers movies, and you're like, what the hell's gonna come in between there, right? Like, there's
Yeah.
so much, but they're growing, man. Like the fact of like where they're going with shows now and movies, I feel like they got a better grasp of it, which is like this current phase was pretty heavy on like the shows, I feel like, because they were
Yep.
just getting them going. And then we had a
Yeah.
few movies here and there. But now I feel like they know like where they're going. They're getting everything super connected and etc. But what are your thoughts on like some of the drops, just in general, like announcements? Like a lot of the stuff's not a lot, but some of the stuff we knew about or like
Right.
rumored. But
Yeah,
like,
but I mean, for
well,
me, like this, like one thing is like Marvel hasn't been going to San Diego Comic Con. They've been like keeping it like having their own events. They one time had like the Chinese Theater and then or D23. I think because Comic Con has been away for a while, they're like, you know, we're gonna make a splash here. I still think we're gonna get like ridiculous stuff like the X-Men and like the Fantastic Four castings. That's probably gonna come at D23, but the fact that they went all the way to phase 6 and Kevin Feige, like everyone's
mhm.
been Secret Wars has been rumored, but the fact that like he's like, dude, Secret Wars is coming, like that's gonna be amazing. The one thing that I was most excited for, which a lot of people knew was rumored to be coming, but the Daredevil Reborn, I mean, that is gonna
Yes.
be sick. I love that they also teased Daredevil at the end of the She-Hulk trailer. I mean, I know some people are not too keen on that joke, but I was pumped to see that at the end. I the Wakanda Forever trailer to me is like that is an amazing trailer. The music hits so well that
Oh
I
yeah.
thought Namor looks amazing. Dude, I'm so pumped for that movie. I was
Hmm.
excited for everything, but I don't want to keep going. Like Trae, like makes like what
Yeah.
I can
Honestly, it's gonna
fanboy
be the
over this.
same.
Like
Yeah, it was definitely the same thing too, the Daredevil. I was pretty excited for that. And I think they said it was like 18 episodes.
they did, which to me was
Yes.
like,
Yes.
what?
Yeah, and I'm like, that's insane. That's like more episodes than everything that they've ever put out.
Goodbye.
Mostly everything's six. I was like,
Six, yeah.
18?
Yeah. Yeah. Like literally all the shows
Like,
combined, essentially.
yeah. I was like, man, but definitely that one for sure stuck out to me. And then um Blade. I'm very excited about
Yes.
Blade.
Me too.
And the Captain America. I think that's gonna be pretty good as well. So
I
I'm
agree. I
just
mean,
excited
a
for
lot of
Marvel.
these, even if like, because I read a lot of rumors and I'm like really heavy into this, but like just to see like the actual like logos come up and like knowing that they're like officially official, like the Captain America one, like that looks awesome. New World Order, like that just looks so cool. And I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm like super pumped to see that trilogy end and like James Gunn was on stage like pumping and like I just
Yeah.
looks yeah, everything is so cool.
And then of course the
Yeah.
Wakanda Forever, man. That I'm excited for that. Definitely excited.
Yeah. Yeah. I was gonna say for me, I mean, Daredevil right off the bat was obviously one of the ones that I was like, this is sick. I mean, the first show was like, I always thought it was so amazing. And like now that like Disney is taking a part of it, we're like, all right, what are they gonna do? They're keeping Charlie Cox, but like how are they gonna do with MCU and stuff, whatever. So like if they keep it that same way, I think it's gonna be so sick. I'm assuming they're gonna kind of try to like somewhat change it because like from what I hear, it's not gonna be
Yeah,
exactly like that storyline, whatever, but it's like them. So I don't know. I guess we'll
It's a
see.
really like interesting move. Like this is why I love Kevin Feige. He like listens to the fans. He knows how beloved Charlie Cox was, and it's perfect that they're coming back at a time with the whole multiverse. They're calling this the multiverse saga, where like the first one was
Saga, yeah.
Infinity Saga. So like yeah, it's just based. I'm assuming he's just going to be a variant, like it's the MCU's version of
Right.
Daredevil, where
Yeah.
I don't think this is like the Reborn is such a perfect title. Like I also there's a great play on words. Like when they got Spider-Man back, in my opinion, it was called Spider-Man Homecoming. Like it's going to be a new version. It's
Yeah.
not like it's
Born
season
again. Yeah.
4. Like um, so I
Yeah,
think that's
it's like a reboot, but not like it's like kind of is, but it's
exactly
not supposed to be.
Yeah.
yes.
But and they've only like so they've officially announced Charlie Cox and this guy D'Onofrio, but they haven't like everyone else. I'm assuming was going to be different, right? I would assume because I feel like they would have
I
said that
agree.
the whole cast was coming
Yeah.
back or whatever at that point.
Yep,
I guess
I
we'll
agree.
see. But yeah,
But
the
Charlie
fact that it's
Cox is
18
also going to be
episodes.
on the X-Men, right? On the cartoon, the X-Men
The
97
the Spider-Man. He's going to be in the
or the
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
freshman
Oh,
year.
okay.
Yeah, he's going to
Okay.
be the voice. He's like
Yeah,
the
it's so freshman year is animated, right?
it is, which there's a lot of confusion going on about this
Yeah,
right
because
now because
I forgot about that because I mixed it up with the Miles Morales one
yeah,
sequel that's coming
I
Yeah.
out.
was like so pumped for this and I still am, but like people are like, is it part of the MCU? Is it not? Because like it contradicts a lot of stuff because like Doc Ock is going to be in season 1. Norman Osborn's going to be in like season 1, which is essentially they're going back to show the origin story of the MCU Spider-Man that we didn't see in the actual movies because they're like, we don't need to see this story again. Like, let's make a show about it. I thought it was brilliant. But now I'm like wondering if it's going to be like a standalone thing or it's like, a different part of, it's a different timeline, which they can now just do, especially after, No Way Home and Multiverse of Madness. But there is confusion with it. And Tom
Is
Holland,
Tom Holland?
he's not, but I think that's just all contract stuff because
Mm.
of the whole Sony thing. So,
Yeah.
because like he wasn't the voice of Spider-Man in What If, but like if you
Right.
close your eyes, you would never know. I mean,
Yeah, they
voiceover
get a
actors
voice
are just
Yeah.
to
so
yeah
good, it
to
doesn't
be
matter.
yeah.
Yeah,
I just think I think it's just crazy. It's interesting, like you said, I love like these really because we hear about the release. So this is gonna be in the works, or we got a somewhat date or a year, let's say. But then when you see like the actual, like Charlie said, like the font and the colors and like what's
yeah,
gonna actually be, you're like, all right, this is sick. This is legit gonna be for this. And like as they were like just dropping each one, I'm like, this is crazy. Like we're getting another season of Loki, and I freaking loved Loki. So like I'm glad they're doing that. But like when you were saying about Charlie Cox, so like he's like popping up in a bunch of stuff because he obviously has his own for 18. Like they have a
yep.
crazy contract with this guy, man, because he's got an 18 episode one himself.
He's an
He's gonna
Echo.
show up in Echo. He's gonna show up in Hulk or She
Yeah,
Hulk now,
She-Hulk. Yep,
which that I definitely had no idea he was gonna be connected. But it kind of makes sense because she's a
the
lawyer.
lawyer.
So
Yeah,
like I get
Yeah.
that's their like melding it together. But like he's obviously gonna be in Echo, which we had also said that like I'm assuming he'll probably be kind of a big deal in Echo because I don't know if Echo can carry her own damn show based off of
exactly.
at least what we saw from her.
Yeah.
But yeah, Wakanda Forever was probably like Blade. I was super excited for just because like we've been hearing about Blade for like
Yeah,
years, and like now we got like a date and like we have an idea. Okay, and then when you heard Feige talk about like this is being filmed or this is filming, you're like, okay, this is legit. Like it's in the process of already, a lot of these things being done. It's not just like, oh, we want to make this movie 4 years from now. So like that was exciting. But Wakanda Forever, I thought was like the one that I'm like, all right, that trailer was amazing. The music was
oh,
like I'm telling
so
you, my
good.
wife was like, I was crying
Yeah.
because it was like so perfect. And it's like a lot was like shown, but at the same time, not enough. So you're still kind of
It
like,
was a
what is going
great
to happen?
teaser.
Because I'm trying to
Yes.
still think like, what are they really going to do? Like, I don't think anyone
Yeah.
really knows because obviously we all know what happened with like what is going to happen with Blackface. Like obviously someone else is going to be coming because they're not recasting him.
No,
So like
yeah,
it's going to be awesome to see like what they do with that. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for Namor, like you said. Like, who is that? Is that guy in anything else? Like, I don't recognize him, but obviously he looks just like the freaking guy.
yeah. He's
He's a damn
definitely not
character.
like and I'm sorry, I'm mad,
I'm
I'm
assuming he's not
blanking.
like a big.
He's not a big. I mean, it's not like this is like his first like rodeo, but like this is gonna make him probably like a household name. But he's definitely
Yeah.
like a working actor. I
That's
just
Yeah.
cool
can't
though.
think of who he is right now at the top of my head. But
But yeah, that trailer was
I even
amazing. It was
loved how like
fantastic.
I mean I think the scenes like to break down the trailer, not the whole thing, but like in all the white, that's probably his funeral. Like
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think they're definitely going to show that. And I loved how, you know, his mom was basically like everyone in my family is dead. Like she's the ruling queen now of
Yeah, yeah.
Wakanda. I mean, and then the
And you
end,
see like a
obviously,
poster or a mural or
yeah,
something
of
of
him,
him. So
which
like
I
obviously,
just saw I love Chadwick Boseman, not just even because of Black Panther. So like I know when he died, like I actually felt like, you know, my friend or family member died, which is, you know,
Yeah.
sad at
yeah.
times because I didn't even know the guy, but like that's how much of an impact he made on me. Um, but like, who do you think is going to become the new Black Panther? Like, I thought it was going to be Shuri, but this,
See, from the very beginning, I thought it was gonna be her. Like when obviously when he passed away, and I'm like, they're still gonna continue to do Black Panther. I was like, to me, I'm like, it's her. Like that's what I almost was like guaranteed. But like as time's gone by, like I don't know. And then you see the quick shot. It doesn't look like it would be her unless she's just in like a suit that because it looks
did
like
you think it looked like
it
it's
looked
a
like a
female?
guy.
It
No,
did
I
look
was
It
gonna
like
say
looked
it
her.
like
looked
a
like a guy.
guy
To me, I
guy
was
I,
like, it looked like a
framed.
guy.
I think I
Yeah.
know who it is, but it could be
But I'm
spoilers
well,
if it's
I was
true.
saying
But
the only other one that I was like maybe would be was Michael B. Jordan's character because I know that was a little rumored for a little
yeah,
while.
I think it's definitely not him.
But I don't, yeah, but I was gonna say I don't think they're gonna because that's kind of like they did that in What If kind of in a
Yep.
way anyway. So like they're not gonna probably do that.
I think, and it's not like I've read this anywhere, but I think it's his son. I think he's going to have a kid in this movie. And I'm
Okay, so it
sure
could
it'll
be.
be like it's a good way to
That
carry
would
on the
make
legacy.
sense. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I'm like there'll probably be some time jump of some
I was gonna
sort,
say there probably has to
or
be
it's
a
how it
time jump
ends,
at
because
that
I
Yeah.
point.
do think there is a kid in the there's, you know, if you freeze frame the trailer, there is one point like a young boy in it, not the Namor scenes, but there's a young boy
Well,
who, and
you're
I
not talking about well, because there's also Ironheart, the young girl.
not
She's also in
Ironheart,
it too.
nope,
Yeah,
yeah, which is also like
like a quick
that's going
Yeah.
to be
scene.
awesome,
Yeah,
and
Yeah.
you know she's going to get her own Disney Plus show.
yeah,
They're jamming a lot of stuff into this movie, actually, now that we're
yeah.
talking about of characters. Um, but I don't think it's going to be straight. I think a lot of people thought it in the beginning, but Letitia Wright, the actress, she's also caused a lot of issues on set.
Yeah, I
There's
was
one
gonna.
point
Yeah.
where
The
I was like, they
filming
kind
of
of just
that
want
was
to
a
write
mess
her
with her.
off. And I
Yeah.
honestly, I don't even like care. Like her character in a weird way, like annoys me. Like I hate saying I
Yeah,
don't know. There's
she was
just
so
something
cocky and like.
yeah, I don't really like her. So I don't want her to become the new
Yeah.
Black Panther.
I kind of thought M'Baku would have been the new Black Panther, but after seeing the clip, you're like, oh no, that guy's a lot
Yeah,
smaller than M'Baku.
Yes.
yeah. He doesn't look, and you see shots of Mbaku actually. I think like him like in a different like getup and everything. So like,
Yeah.
it's I don't know. It's interesting. I think it's a great thing that they've kind of kept on the wraps for the most
Yeah.
part because we really haven't gotten like a legit like leak type of thing.
No.
So it's exciting. It's I mean it's not too far away, right? Because it's basically
It's
gonna
November.
it's gonna
November.
end this phase that we're in
Yeah.
right now. So like that's gonna be like the big thing. So that's obviously coming up soon. And then another one I wanted to mention quick was like the Ant-Man and Wasp Quantumania one, which is sick because now we're getting more details on that. And MODOK is gonna
Yeah.
freaking be in it, which is crazy.
Yes.
And then Kang as well, which I heard. So they did a trailer.
Yeah, but
It was a
that
leaked
wasn't
trailer. I don't know if
online.
you guys,
I
yeah,
didn't see, you saw the
but
leak trailer.
well, you can hear it. There's no
Okay.
visuals, obviously.
Ah,
Like they
Okay.
okay.
did in the visual, but you can listen to it, which is kind of odd, but you hear him, which is awesome. And he has like a pretty sweet line when he's speaking to Ant-Man. But like I was like, damn, there's gotta be a video out there. How's not someone
I
like
know.
recording the damn video? Which I'm sure it'll drop at some point, clearly. But I got excited because you see like screenshots of what would be part of the thing, but then when you watch the video, it's just black. Like, oh,
It's funny. I'm
this is how they got
mad
away with
I
it.
didn't get that pop. Like I wanted it and like forgot, like kind of like you said with the Sonic one,
from
the
the
San Diego
actual
Comic
con.
Con. Yeah. And
If
that
that's not one that's still available, I
no,
feel like
and
it went
Target
back up
didn't
to
put their stuff
sale.
up
Target,
again.
no, is that what it was? Target, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I don't get what Target did this with the last con. They didn't
Dude,
put their
Target is
stuff
a
up.
mess, man.
I don't get it. Like,
Yeah, they
it's
didn't put
annoying.
anything up last time, which is crazy. So maybe it'll randomly pop up, or you're gonna see it in a store like out of nowhere. But yeah, I mean, this lineup is crazy, man. I mean, I think it's cool to see all the shows. We also got like the official like Fantastic Four is gonna be freaking in like Phase 6, which is like that's been another thing that's been years in the talking. But
Yeah.
Yeah, the
they
thing
pretty much
is
just know it's
rumored,
locked in, but they have like it's not like
dude. The thing is rumored to be in She-Hulk,
oh
and
yeah.
like
So the actor is gonna play basically, so we get at least
yeah, like I suppose
figuring out who he is.
I know who he is. I don't know if we want spoilers or if you guys are interested. Or he's
Who
mentioned.
he's gonna be?
Yeah,
Is he the only one that's cast
supposedly.
officially?
I'm sure they've all been casted,
Oh
but
yeah.
he's gonna supposedly be in the show, and it's like an interesting casting.
That is interesting. I feel like I've heard a rumor too, but I don't know if I
We don't
know.
need to say
But
it on here, but it's just interesting. Like, I like how they're like doing that. Like, they're sprinkling in things like, obviously we've seen the Fantastic Four movies before. Obviously they're not MCU ones, but it's like, instead of just like being, where have the Fantastic Four been, like they're just like gonna like gradually introduce characters, which I think is really cool, because I
Yeah.
feel like Doctor Doom will show up before as well, like before the Fantastic Four movie. And I think the
yeah,
Fantastic Four cast is going to be like not what people think. I think it's going to be like, oh, this is a great cast, and it's not. Like, I don't think John Krasinski. I feel
no,
like
no,
he's
no.
100% not Mr.
I think
Fantastic.
it's gonna be kind of a random. Might be some like new up and coming
Yeah,
people that aren't like big names. Like I feel like they'll go that route. But yeah, I mean, we have to get Doctor Doom into things. We gotta. I feel like I've seen a poster of is it Secret Wars? I think with like
yeah,
him in the background though, and it just looked so sick. Like it's obviously like
Yeah.
a fan made thing, but like that's like a character we're looking for. Um, this freaking what we were just talking about, goddamn Galactus,
yeah.
like those characters, like we need now, and I think this is where
Yeah.
it's gonna get like those are gonna be our Thanoses now, like in this
Has
whole
it,
like
have everyone,
next
have you
wave.
both seen all of Miss Marvel?
Yeah.
Have you tried?
I have not seen it yet. I have
Okay.
been slacking. I've been actually watching Umbrella Academy,
Oh, Umbrella
Oh,
Academy is
nice,
awesome.
nice.
I love Umbrella
which
Academy.
is bad because now I'm like, oh man, I want the pops now. I'm like, I don't want
Yeah,
to go too
yeah.
deep in.
I have like the first season, and I'd stopped because I was
I
like, I
have
can't just
some of
keep
the
getting too
pops
many
of
damn
like the
posts.
characters I love. Like number two, like I have his pop. It's awesome. But that's a great show. I'm happy you're like, are you like just starting it, or you're on the new season?
We're on season 2,
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Season 3
but
is
yeah,
really good, actually.
after
There's
we're
the
done with that, we'll definitely start
there's a
Miss
screenshot.
Marvel.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this.
Everyone, everyone in the comments is saying Shuri, which is obviously the like
It's too
obvious
obvious, and I
name.
just
And then there's also a lot of people saying, oh my God, what's her name? Uh,
his like
his like what? Yeah, which
Lupita
is
Nyong'o's,
Lupita. Yeah,
yeah,
Lupita's character.
which I would prefer
Which,
her. I just don't see
yeah,
it being like, I don't need to get into like, the reasons why, but like I just don't see Larisha like, right. I don't see them wanting to continue business with her in the
yeah. So
long
I
term.
don't exactly. That's why I
There's
was
no
gonna say I
way.
don't see it
And
being
she
her.
could have been, and she's
Like I
not
could
no
see it
more.
being Lupita though, because it kind of like,
Yep.
especially like you think about it, like the music that was playing. Black Panther has always been very women powerful,
Yep.
like so like you could see that being a thing. So I guess that's why a lot of people say Shuri, but
And she
could
could
also see
even
it
be
being
it
something
and then
else.
pass it on to her
Yeah,
kid.
it could be anything. Exactly.
Yeah,
It could be. And because we already got what's her actual name? Tony Stark's
Morgan.
no, the
The
oh my
Ironheart,
God.
Riri.
Yeah, I no, is it Ironheart?
It's
No.
Ironheart.
His girl wife and whatever.
Oh, Pepper Potts.
Yeah, but she becomes
Rescue.
what's her name? In the Avengers. Where she's like an Iron Man, female version.
Yeah,
Rescue.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
But
she was,
yeah, that's her name, right? Yeah. But
but
I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah,
like, but
yeah. I get what you
like
mean.
the spouse kind of like became something, so
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
Oh,
I get what
yeah,
you're
yeah.
saying. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Screw Pepper Potts. I hate
Yeah.
her.
You don't like Pepper Potts?
No. I can't stand Gwyneth Paltrow. I mean,
I
like,
was gonna say it's probably because you don't like Gwyneth Paltrow.
well, dude, have you ever like, I can't stand, like, have you seen the whole joke when she's like been like, she met Sebastian Stan once? She's like, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you. And he's like, I've been in movies with you. And like she's done that to Tom Holland before. It's like a joke. And
Yeah.
like and she's being serious. It's not like cute or being funny. Like when I hear actors do that, like I get it's just a job, but like, oh come on, that is just like so ridiculous. And I've like
Yeah, that's a
lost
little too
all
much.
respect for her. I like just that she's done it multiple times.
That is a little weird,
Yeah. I'm like,
but
come on, what were you on when you were making the movie?
yeah, literally.
What do
Oh
you think about
man,
the I Am Groot series? Those
I
little
mean,
mini series.
I'm like a sucker for Groot. I love him, and I think it's like a brilliant idea. Like, obviously, they're capitalizing on the popularity of him. They'll be cute. People who don't watch all the Marvel stuff will probably check them out, and I love that they're shorts. I think they're cool.
it's like
Yeah.
kind of animated, right? In a way,
Well,
or
it's
is
just
it
so
just
heavy
like
CGI, but
it's like
yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
very like cartoony, like in a way,
yeah,
kind of like.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's shorts, which is it'll just be
Like
something that
little
like I feel
Pixar
like
movies. Yeah.
yeah, like maybe kids will pick up on or whatever. But
yeah.
like I don't, dude. I like because I'm trying to like pull up pictures and stuff, and right now there's like a leak picture, it's blurry as hell of an Ahsoka Hall H
Yeah, I saw that.
freaking pop too.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ, they just
Yeah. I
literally were
saw that.
just going ham with exclusives. But yeah, I mean, all these movies, I'm super excited for just like what's to come. Then what's next? We have, because obviously Thor was the last one, and then we have
We're getting
there's
She-Hulk,
two more, right? She-Hulk.
She-Hulk, and then we're gonna get. I think it's
Is it
Wakanda
Wakanda
Forever.
after She-Hulk? I thought there
Yeah,
was one more movie for some reason.
I
But
don't think
that,
so.
yeah, because I
Phase
know Wakanda.
four has been like. I actually haven't seen Thor yet. I just
Yeah, I
haven't
haven't
had a
either.
chance to go to the theater. And then I
I
mean,
haven't
a
either.
lot of people. Did you see it, Trey?
Yeah, I saw it. It was good.
It was
I
good. You
liked
liked it
it.
because I feel like a lot of people hate it, but I feel like I'm gonna like it. But I've also heard it's like way too Taika, where it's like
Yes.
Oh
It's
yeah.
people have.
it's
Well, because it's like Ragnarok if you think about it. Some people love it and some people
I
hate it.
love
I
that
love
movie,
Ragnarok.
but
see
I've heard
Ragnarok was like a perfect balance because, there was also the Hulk that,
where this I've
made
heard
it.
is like
Yeah.
It's like
It's
way over
like,
like
yeah, like the jokes are funny, don't get me wrong, but it's like you don't take um Christian Bale's character, the villain, as serious because you're just constantly laughing. So like
okay.
I feel like that takes it away from that. But it is funny, but I feel like it's like maybe too much
what's
funny.
funny, Taika Waititi, at least in the nerd world, went from being like, the a god to like the number one public enemy overnight after this movie. Like,
Yeah,
Oh
I
and
yeah?
actually don't think it's always been this joke. Like, Lucasfilm will like hire people who are like so popular, and then about time, like they're about to make their movie. Like, Benioff and Weiss, the guys at Game of Thrones, were supposed to be making the next Star Wars trilogy. Everyone hated the last season of Game of Thrones, and all of a sudden, they're no longer making Star Wars movies.
yeah,
Same with the director of Wonder Woman. I can't think of her name off the Patty Jenkins. She was making a Star Wars movie. Everyone hated the second Wonder Woman. She's not anymore. Taika Waititi's supposed to be making the new
Yeah,
Star Wars
because
movie.
he's
Now, all of
supposed
a
to be
sudden,
making a Star
the
Wars.
other
I was
day, he's
saying.
just like, I don't know if I'm making this movie anymore.
well, because
That's so
I don't know
crazy.
if you ever saw that interview where he asked Natalie Portman, like, have you ever thought about
I
doing
did
Star
see
Wars?
that. Yeah. And he
Yeah,
totally
yeah, yeah.
forgot that she was in the
Yeah,
prequels.
yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
part of me was just like, that could have. I know he's now said, like, oh my God, I forgot. Like, I can't believe it. But like, that to me was just like Taika humor when it
Yeah.
happened. Like, I would have just stuck with that he was just joking. And then he finally admitted, yeah, I totally forgot about those movies.
Which is kind of hilarious though.
It is funny.
But yeah,
But
I
Lucasfilm
still want to
likes
watch it.
him.
Obviously,
Yeah, me too.
I mean, I watch it when it comes out on Disney Plus at this point because I was like, I wanted to go and watch it, and I didn't get to, so I'm like, at this point, I'll just wait. But yeah, it hasn't had gotten like the best, like
Yeah.
Like, I
I mean,
liked
critiques, I
the
guess.
funny Thor, but I like most people, I guess, hate it.
I mean,
Yeah,
I did laugh pretty hard on some parts. I was like, oh, that is like, I'm just
Chris
laughing about,
Hemsworth has impeccable like
yes.
comedic timing, and like I
yeah,
think that's why he still wants to play the character.
Yeah.
Because at one point he's made comments like after Thor: Dark World and then some of the Avengers movies, and like he was like, I'm over playing Thor. It
Yeah.
was really Taika that made him love the character again.
Yeah.
So it's
Um,
yeah, because he
interesting.
hated his first, like the first
Yeah,
Thor versions of himself. Yeah, it was just like
he was getting
so.
bored of it.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But it, like I said, it is super funny, but I feel like, you know, it's like too much of a comedy. I'm like, man, like I kind of wanted it a little bit more serious, kind of like Ragnarok, because there was some serious parts, even though there were some hilarious ones. But this one was just
Yeah.
like a little bit, maybe too much. But overall, probably 7 out of 10, maybe.
Okay.
No, it's not bad though. It's better than what a lot of
Yeah,
people are saying. So
better
Yeah.
than
I'm
Eternals.
sure I'm
I'll
gonna
say that.
like it.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm sure
I
I'll like it
agree.
regardless. Because even some of the stuff that people didn't like even Eternals, for instance, like it was nowhere near the best Marvel movie, but I like
Yeah,
enjoyed it enough to like still enjoy it. And even
yeah,
like Miss Marvel, like you haven't even watched it, but like
It's
it's not the
okay.
best show. It's a little like more kiddish away, if that makes sense, Charlie, right?
yeah,
Like more
Yeah, yeah.
like young kids would probably like
It's
it,
like
kind
a
of a thing,
teen, yeah, like a
like a teeny
yeah.
kind of thing. But like it was good enough, and then it ended good enough that you're like, okay,
okay.
I'm a little more excited now, like
And
for
it's
like
funny though,
where
like
she's gonna go and that kind of thing.
I agree. But the funny thing is why I hate Rotten Tomatoes. It is the highest rated MCU project on Rotten Tomatoes.
No,
What?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah,
Movie and show.
yeah,
What?
yeah.
That's good, but maybe because it's very
For
early on.
critics, for critics.
Maybe because it's also still early on. Like sometimes that number like ends up dipping. You know, things start at
Yeah,
100 for like a
but it
month, and then all
shouldn't
of a
have
sudden it
been
goes down.
like it shouldn't ever been that high.
That's
Like
weird. I don't think,
it's
yeah, because I was gonna
very
say it was not like it was good. It's
forgettable.
not
Yeah, it's
terrible, but
good.
yeah, it wasn't. To me, it was like very much like the like kind of like Hawkeye, where I was like, it was good, but not amazing. Like I already kind of forgot a lot of stuff that happened. You know, like you
It's
said,
funny.
we're already.
I
Yeah.
liked Hawkeye. Like,
I mean, like I didn't hate it,
no,
but
no, I know.
I forgot a lot of it already.
It's
I'm
just
kind
so
of like,
funny. I like look back now of all the shows. Like, probably my most hyped was Moon Knight, and I was
oh, that's another
disappointed
one.
by Moon
Yeah, that's
Knight
another
though.
one.
At the end of the day,
It's true.
it just wasn't as good as it could have been. And now, like Oscar Isaacson is pretty, like, yeah, I that was a standalone story.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
It'll be
was a little
interesting.
odd. I want to see what's gonna happen with She-Hulk. That's the next one. Obviously, when it first came out, I was kind of like, this looks kind of corny. But the second trailer that came out, and you see a little bit more, you got more of the Hulk, you got more of like kind of what's going on, and then obviously Daredevil peeks in.
What do you
Like
think of the
now, I'm
CGI
kind
of
of
her?
like,
It doesn't
so
bother me. People are saying it's terrible.
I
Like,
don't like it. But honestly, I feel like they kind of fixed it though, because the first trailer I
Yeah.
feel
oh yeah,
like
they
It
was
was
fixed it.
bad.
trash, and
Yes.
I was
Yeah.
like, it was like a Sonic situation where I was
Yes,
like,
that's
what are they
exactly what I was
doing with
thinking. It was like the
this?
Sonic.
Like it was too like, and I get it because basically what they did is they did what they did with the newer Hulk when he's Bruce Banner
Yeah.
Hulk. Like that's kind of what I feel like they used, where they try to keep her in like a human Hulk version or whatever. And I was like, I get it, but it was just like too much. And then now I feel like they kind of fixed it, so it's not as bad. But I think because she like Hulk is so big that you know he's not like a human. So like you take the CGI into effect that it's like a
Yep.
out of this world thing, right?
Yeah.
She's almost like just
A
a
human.
bigger
Yeah.
human, so it looks too weird. That's what I think kind of bugs me. That I'm like, her face just doesn't look like it. It looks like it literally looks like a oh my
A
god, what's
cartoon.
that thing called? When people put face over somebody else.
Oh, yeah, like
Oh
a
my god.
filter.
No, but like the ones online
Oh,
where
deep fake. It looks
like
like a
a
deep
deep fake.
fake.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
looks like it's like a deep fake the entire time because like her face doesn't fit into like what she, because I thought she would be like, I get it, she's strong and big, but she's nowhere near as big as Hulk when you see him in the same
Yeah, I don't think
scenes.
anyone's gonna really care
So
about
it
this
looks
show. I'm
kind of
excited
weird.
for it, but like she's like,
Yeah, I think it's like a filler one to kind of get us more characters and get us,
yep.
which they've been doing that a lot. So like I get it, but I don't think it'll be like, oh, who knows? Maybe it'll be
It's just
better
so
than we
funny you bring
think.
up like, I mean, this is a Comic-Con episode, so have either of you seen the new Rescue Rangers movie on Disney
Yeah,
Plus?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
With
I
the Sonic.
loved how the Sonic was in the Comic-Con booth, like begging,
Yeah.
like that's like how those old, like no one cares about actors are actually at cons, like in their
Yeah.
booth, like begging for people. That was like the
Take a
funniest
picture.
thing ever.
That is true. I was gonna say before I forget, because we were talking about She-Hulk. So I don't know if I read it or I saw somewhere that, and I didn't know this, that Hulk, like they're not allowed to have Hulk on his own standalone.
No, they're not, because
So that's
Universal's
why
still
he's always
technically,
in other shows and movies with like
yeah,
ensembles. That's so
yeah,
freaking weird.
it's
Like the way
BS.
they have these weird ass like laws and like whatever the hell like contracts. And I was like, that makes sense because he's literally always in an Avengers movie. He's in
Yep.
Ragnarok. Now he's in this She-Hulk show. It's never like him. He's always like poor damn Bruce. So he's a
Yeah,
side character.
because that movie's not on Disney Plus either because they don't have the rights to it.
The original one you're saying, like
Yeah.
the one where it was,
Yeah.
which is, and that makes sense, but it's so weird. Like,
I
come
know,
on. Like,
and it's just annoying because Universal's the one who owns Hulk, and like they'll never play nice with like Disney, how like Sony did with Spider-Man. But it works out. Like, quite frankly, they've done an amazing job of the workaround. And he doesn't necessarily like. This is disguised. This will probably be disguised as a Hulk show, but it is a She-Hulk show. Like that's why he was in right. Like it's doing the best they can.
Yeah, they use him well enough as a
because they didn't have the rights to Namor either, and he went back to Disney. Universal owned him, and it went back to them over time, which is why we're just seeing him now. But by the look of that trailer too, with the underwater scenes, like I love Aquaman, but it's just another thing Marvel's just going to make you forget that like the Jason Momoa Aquaman exists, in my opinion. Like that's another thing.
You think that the actual is going to look so much more like...
Oh yeah, I mean honestly, Marvel always does this in my opinion, but like I can't believe I'm saying this, but like they crapped so hardcore over WB and DC at Comic-Con that like no one cares about The Rock anymore. Like I'm tired of hearing The Rock.
It was only
like
The Rock,
like,
no
one cares now, and I can't believe I'm saying I love Dwayne Johnson.
Going for them.
Yeah, everyone was like, "Oh my god!" The whole hype was they were going to announce Henry Cavill was coming back as Superman. They didn't do that. Like they can't talk about the Flash because of Ezra Miller. They can't talk about Aquaman because of Amber Heard. Like they're a mess.
Literally.
And now supposedly Zack Snyder, and who I love, I don't know if you guys heard, like everything was bots and he's like fabricating these marketing campaigns. It was all fake of like the Snyder cut, like people wanting it.
Oh, so now, so that wasn't like his little fans that were trying to like make it. It was like the most voted, the most popular.
Yeah, it was BS. It's now been found out that was bots.
Oh,
it's just so funny because there was like a lot of people are saying it's a hit piece.
That kind of makes him look like terrible.
It does make him look bad, and I feel bad because like there's still some people who are like this is a hit piece on Zack Snyder because they just don't like him. But supposedly WB did like a market test to see like do people really want this, and like why was people so pumped about it, and they came back and being like, yeah, a lot of the traffic was bots. And it makes sense. Like that never would have won the best
like,
scene on like
he won two things, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like best scene and the best something else. And everyone thought it was just like his fans, his groupies that were like helping. And it's
no. Even though I'm a huge fan of his
with the
stuff
Russians over here. Bots.
And all the NFT bots.
Yeah. Oh my god. That's hilarious though.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure. DC definitely like they didn't even like I think the only thing really they had was Black Adam, essentially, right? And it wasn't even like no one's even talking about it. I mean, look, we didn't even talk about it. We literally started with saying Marvel was at this
Marvel.
No one cares. I actually like Dwayne Johnson has such a good relationship with Disney. It's just kind of upsetting that like he took this role before being in Marvel. Like I feel like I know you can cross over, but he's just such an iconic name. Like, is he really going to become a superhero over in the MCU?
I feel like he won't though, because he like took this like this is him and this was his character he was born for. So like you can't do that and do something else. And then another thing you can't do is like if this movie is absolute shit, like my man's gonna look like an idiot, man. Like he's like,
dude, I think it's like, I don't think it's gonna be as good as I want it to be. It doesn't look that good.
Yeah, I don't think it will. I think it'll be like, but I don't think it's gonna be as big as obviously he's trying. Will it sell and make big money?
I think it'll have an amazing opening weekend, and
probably. Dip. But like, I'm sure it'll be critically trashed. I'm sure, and among other things.
Well, it doesn't look like anything. They're not. I know a lot of people say the Marvel movies are the same over and over, but they do try to like change the game up. Like, Thor: Love and Thunder, perfect example. Maybe it didn't slap, but like they are trying to do something. That's something I think they're doing really good with the Disney Plus shows. Like Miss Marvel, for example, like that isn't something they're going to put on the big screen, but it had a great place on Disney Plus, where DC looks like they're making a movie from the 90s with Black Adam. Like, I just don't get it. And that ain't for nostalgic reasons, just because they don't know how to make a movie.
It's weird. It's Warner Brothers, bro. Warner Brothers is a disaster when it comes to comics.
It's just like, come on, like they're
like just do a reset. Just
they need to reset. Like,
it's they honestly what they need to do, and my
The Flash
two
was supposed to do that.
yeah, two movies that I think were done well, and it was a completely different take. Is Joker and the Batman. Like they're serious, they're grounded, they're not, they can't live in this comic book like fantasy style world that Marvel is in. Like they're never gonna be there. So they need
No.
to just do that, and then
The problem
that's it.
is
And they also don't do comedy well. So don't try to
no.
make things funny because that doesn't work. So
This
like
is a hot take though, because I've thought a lot about this, and Migs, you're probably gonna be surprised, but I think the Batman is actually overrated now. The new movie.
you think so?
I don't think the next
But
one will do as
overrated
well.
in the sense of how big it was because it was pretty popular, or
Yeah,
that it's
like
not good.
no, it's good, but like when I first watched it, I was like, this is amazing. Like this is like a masterpiece. Like I don't feel that way anymore.
Hmm.
I
See,
just
I
like
think of it in a different way. I think of it artistically, it
no, me
was like
too,
an
but like
amazing movie.
I
But is it rewatchable? Is it like
exactly. It's just
probably not? It's also
not.
so long. I feel like when
It's
movies are
too
long,
long.
it's
Yeah.
hard to
And
rewatch.
I love the Batman, but like I'm thinking about it, it's like I'm not like dying to see the next one when it comes out. I'm gonna be pumped for it, but like we're like I'm dying to see the new Black Panther, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's a
Yeah.
whole different, yeah, what we said, it's a different ballpark of movies in general. And
Yeah.
I agree with that too, because even favorite movie all the time is Dark Knight, but it's a completely different world than when I'm excited to see a Marvel movie. But it's like, I don't know. I think it's just a character that keeps me like, oh, I love
Well, of
Batman or I love
course.
whatever. But
Yeah.
I just
but
wish they
that's
made
why some of these other DC movies I'm just kind of
like I
like,
don't know if you agree with me because I've talked to other my friends who are big Batman fans, and like some of them agree with me and some are like, no, no, the Batman, and like, my buddy Matt, who's just like, no, it's the greatest movie ever. I would love to see like like an MCU version of Batman. Like I think that would be like awesome. Like there's a good like almost the way they've made like Daredevil, like that could be Batman. Or even what they I know
yeah.
Moon Knight wasn't as dark as I
Well,
wanted it to be.
I was actually gonna say, I feel like that's what they were kind of trying to do with Moonlight, but if what they did with Moonlight was not good enough. I
I
think
agree.
Daredevil would be a good comparison where you're like, this was badass. But think about it. Look at what they had to do. Daredevil was TVMA.
Yep.
Marvel usually doesn't do that. So that's probably why Moon Knight was kind of like, eh. And for the most part, if you do a Batman movie, I feel like that's when it's a good Batman movie versus like when it was a George Clooney Batman movie. Like, like when it's
Yes.
too much,
Well, it's funny though.
it's
One
gotta be
thing
more
we
serious.
we haven't talked about yet is I don't know if you catch this. They're making a Marvel Zombies show for Disney Plus,
I
and it
didn't.
is rated TVMA. It is the first ever Marvel show that is going to be TVMA. So they're
Really?
clearly showing that this is happening.
But wait, animated or real or
It's
live
animated.
action?
It's animated,
Okay.
but
Okay.
they've
But
said
it'll
it
be
is going to be
bloody and
gory. This is not for kids.
is Daredevil TVMA? Do we know
They
that?
haven't said it. I feel like they won't make it, but they'll really push it. But here's where I think it'll be better
You
than
don't think
Moon
so
Knight.
though, because they brought the actual Daredevil TVMA and everything,
Yeah.
and all the other ones
I thought it
into
was going
Disney
to be
Plus.
MA. Yeah.
So I feel like they would, or they should. I
I
think we'll
think
say.
they'll push the boundaries, but they don't want they have nothing is invested in their platform for everyone to watch those old Netflix shows that they now brought over to Disney Plus. They're there for the fans. They
Yeah.
want to make sure as many people can watch that because if you go to, the parental controls, like I don't know if you saw now, like both
So
Deadpool's
then they
and
won't even
Logan are on
come
Disney
up.
Plus. They
Yeah,
won't
they
even
won't
come
come
up,
up.
but I
Yeah.
think they'll push the limits. And I think Moon Knight wasn't pushed enough because that was more about like I feel like the culture of the Egyptian side of it more than him being, this badass like guy who beats the shit out of
Yeah, it
people at
wasn't. It
night.
was more like
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, and it
Different
was
than what
more
I
about
thought it was
mental
gonna be.
health and like stuff like that where like Daredevil we don't need to deal with that. He is just going to I feel like be like ultimately the Marvel like people go back and forth. It's like Daredevil is the Marvel version of a Batman or like people say Moon Knight. Like now I feel like it really for television and movie wise, Daredevil is going to give Marvel fans that, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah.
They might
Uh,
also wait for like to promote Deadpool, the first rated R
Agreed.
Disney, right? I would
They've
think that
said that's going to be rated R.
Well, I was
Yeah,
gonna
so I think
I was actually gonna bring that up because I was gonna say like you know how we saw Phase 6 whatever and it was a huge
Daredevil's
block
one of them.
like no Deadpool you mean
Sorry. Yeah,
yeah
Deadpool. Yeah.
So I'm thinking like is that where Deadpool is that where the X-Men like is
Yep.
that what's coming because none of that was hinted at all so like
right.
do definitely have I feel like that stuff's got to be coming over at some point so
Yeah, I think we find out
excited.
some of those movies, like I said earlier, at D23. This was like a lot of the stuff we kind of knew as fans, but it was official.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think more
All
the two big Avenger movies with a big like big
yeah,
Yeah.
reveal where like
big
this was officially
reveals
what they were. Yeah.
where I think we're gonna get the other stuff at D23. And I think I've heard rumors it's like they're gonna go being called the mutants. They're gonna like steer away from it, be calling the X-Men to kind of make it seem fresh, not just like
Yeah.
Kevin Feige
Which
really tries to do that rather than it just be,
makes sense. They've
yeah,
already used that term
yeah,
Yeah.
without spoiling too much.
yeah,
Yeah.
You know what I'm
exactly.
talking about.
Yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. Because there's even rumors that they may make like, and yeah, not spoiler that, but like Namor may be a mutant. I think they're gonna like
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
they're sprinkling in mutants that they've been around, and then boom, we're gonna get like the big characters
The
that we
big
know.
names. Yeah.
Yeah. When is
Excited.
D23?
It's the exact date. I think it's in August or September. It's coming up.
Oh, so it's
Oh,
coming, huh?
okay.
It's
Okay.
coming up.
Wow.
Yep.
Nice.
Cool.
Well,
So a lot. We have talking about a lot, but
a
it's a lot
lot
of
of
good
stuff
nerdy
today.
stuff.
Yeah, it was good stuff. I mean, started with obviously SDCC and San Diego, and obviously we got into, we could just talk about movies and Marvel and
Yeah.
stuff and it's a
Yeah.
straight episode too. But yeah, I mean that's gonna be it. I think we covered a lot. We obviously, got into the box of fun stuff, which absolutely was awesome this year, and everything with Marvel. Nothing really with DC that's coming soon. Stuff that got us excited at least. But yeah, I mean, Trae, thank you so much for being on. I mean, I'm sure
Thank
we'll
you for
try to get
having
you
me
on
again. I
again.
appreciate it.
Yeah, man. I mean, right
Of
away we said
course.
it. We're like, we want to get another guy in here, and we'll get you on, as often as we can for sure. I mean, it was a great time. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much. And like I said in the beginning, make sure that you do check him out if you guys are watching us and you don't know anything about him. South Texas Collectibles is his YouTube channel, does unboxings and stuff. So definitely check that out. Instagram and Twitter, or not Twitter, Instagram and
TikTok. Go
TikTok
check out his
is
TikTok. He does a
yeah
lot of good stuff on there.
STX underscore collectibles, right? So
Hmm.
definitely follow him there. Anything else from you, Charlie?
No, just yeah, once again, thanks Trey for coming on. You're one of our biggest supporters and you become like one of our great friends in the community. And like I said, we're really excited to have this like collector council where we invite other guests to come on just to like shoot the shit with us. It's like super fun. Just
Yeah.
I like to think everyone likes hearing just me and Mig talk, but it also just adds a new dynamic of, having someone else there to join our conversation. So yeah, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me, guys. I can't wait to do it again.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, everyone, have a good one, and then we'll see you guys. But in 2 weeks, right? We're gonna take another week off.
Yeah, we're taking another
Next
week
week,
off.
Charlie. Yeah, Charlie will be busy, so we'll be back another 2 weeks. But good luck to everybody getting all your stuff. We'll see. There'll be more drops. I'm sure Funko's gonna keep dropping stuff, so
Keep it coming.
we'll have plenty of stuff to talk about.
All right,
All
later,
right,
everyone.
take it easy, guys.
Bye.